The following program is hosted by immature, irreverent, obnoxious, and often disgusting young men. Listener discretion is advised.
This time on Nude Clan.
Hey, Cam, how's that Fallout 76?
You shut your mouth.
Mm-hmm.
God damn it, Schweiss. Welcome to another episode of Nude Clan. This is Cameron.
Caleb Schweiss.
And Caleb Craig.
And today we do have a very special topic that warms my heart. But before we get too far into that, what has everyone been playing?
Schweiss?
Man, I think I might have played a little bit of Jurassic World, Lego Jurassic World, like 10 minutes or so. And then the rest of it has been solidly Red Dead Redemption 2, trying to do all of the Stranger missions. Yeah, trying to do everything in the game. Yeah. And it's not going that well. I mean, I'm in the epilogue part 2 now, I guess, so I'm almost done. So I think I might just
Epilogue?
Yeah.
Isn't that just after the main story?
Yeah, there's 2 epilogues for that game, and it's fucking weird.
Do you have credits before the epilogues?
No, you don't.
Okay.
The game ends, as far as I'm concerned, there for the most part. But I mean, that is what an epilogue is. It's just the last chapter, just for shits and giggles.
Just some tidying up of the storylines, closing some
Is there
loopholes,
any story at
lazy
all
story
for the
writing?
second epilogue, or is it just like the open world shit?
No, you have story missions.
Oh, you do still
Yeah,
have
so
story missions?
it's still part
What's
of the
the
campaign.
point of separating the epilogues then?
Thematically, I guess, based on what happened in epilogue part 1, like.
Okay.
Whatever,
Sense,
man.
whatever.
Yeah. So I'm almost done with that, and that's all I've been playing this week. Just those 2. I should have started Chocobo's Dungeon on the Wii for Ultima because I have to beat that by next week.
Was that the game that Joe was ranting about on Twitter the other day?
Yeah, the J-pop in the beginning.
Yeah.
I haven't started it at all though, so I don't know anything about that. But that's it for me. Yeah, super light.
At least
week.
you have your closet space all ready for you from playing Galgun. So
yeah, true. Yeah, I have to delete that.
Would
on
Alex be
PlayStation
more
still.
worried or less worried if you heard that coming from the closet instead of Galgun?
I don't know. Galgun is just so over the top that I think she might be more worried about the J-pop song blaring. Because that's you don't know for sure if it's like a joke or what's going on.
Just a little
So
noise is coming from the closet. She peeks
You're not
through the
going to do
crack.
the extra storylines then for that Galgun?
No, I'd have to buy it now or pay for PlayStation Now, and I don't want to do that.
Okay. For me, I played Yakuza Kiwami 2, and then I played some Smash Bros. And I think that's it.
On your Switch?
Yeah.
That we bought you?
Yep.
With our generous...
Oh, no, I did play.
Switch.
I played some Breath of the Wild. Getting back into that because I need to finish it.
Did you not play any Darkest Dungeon this last week?
Oh, I did play a little bit of that,
Nice.
actually. Yeah.
I kind of want to get Dark Souls remastered on the Switch as
No.
well.
You can't do that. Fucking don't do that because we need to play it online together.
You don't think I can play on my Switch with you on your PS4?
No.
I don't
Why would
think I
that?
have.
Why would that ever fucking happen?
I don't know.
Fucking
They
buy it on the
only have the
PlayStation
crossplay
so
for
we can
Fortnite right now. Schweiss.
fucking buy it on the PlayStation so we can fight each other. That's all I want, Schweiss. That's all I want in this world.
Is to play the fucking
To fucking
Dark
beat
Souls
his ass
remastered.
with my fucking whole strength cleric build.
Yeah. We never even
Don't
did that
take
in
this from
Bloodborne.
me.
We never even fought.
I know we didn't fight, but we could.
We could, yeah. We've never even played together.
But you
have we?
need to fucking... No, we tried to once, but we never got it to connect, I don't think. Was that someone
The
else?
Chalice Dungeons. I
Yeah,
think
Chalice
we were trying to do
Dungeons,
it, yeah.
Anyways, no, please fucking buy that Dark Souls Remastered and fucking play it so we
It's
can
on
review
sale
it.
right now.
Is it?
For
got
how
that-
much?
Like 30?
No fucking excuses.
30?
Yeah.
It's not a sale.
It's $10 off.
I need more than 25% to.
I think I spent $20 on it, but I would have gladly spent $30.
Well, maybe you should.
No, because at that point I'd be basically buying a brand new game if I
Well,
buy it for you.
Do you feel like it's worth a full price?
No, because we've learned about buying games for you, Schweiss. Never do it. Because you have no financial
that's fucking
obligation to
true.
play it.
Yeah, my Steam library though, it's huge.
Yeah, but that's what Steam is for, just collecting games
hoarding.
you never want to play.
No, you want to play all of them. You just can't.
Maybe not all.
No, see, there's a reason why I should probably start doing it now, just because of games that get voted on. But there's a reason why I don't like just downloading both free games every month from PlayStation, because I'm like, whenever I'm gonna fucking play that? Why do I want that in my library?
Well, you're going to want them if Schweiss ever nominates one of them for the...
Exactly, and that's why I should probably start doing that.
Speaking of, we don't have any games to review after Galgun, do we?
No.
Yeah, we should probably.
There was supposed to be a nomination 2 weeks ago, I think.
Yeah.
And I think there should be one for this week, but I have to look at the calendar.
Great, get
I'll do
Dark
that
Souls Remastered. We
right
can
fucking
pop
now.
that one out.
We could. You know what? You know what I think we should do, guys. We should start doing the votes again soon. But I think for the first little bit of the year, we should just play what
okay.
we want to play.
This week we have a
I don't
vote
like
for
that.
the mega game.
This week, so today, a vote for the.
The
mega
thing
game?
is, though, is that's
Okay, we
8
need to
weeks
put
from
that
now.
Together.
That's 8 weeks from now, and the next review we have.
Oh, we still need to fucking
Is
go
fucking
over
next
our new
week.
schedule and put that
Yeah.
in stone. That's probably part of why we haven't been voting on games. Cause
No, it's absolutely why. But what I'm saying is we should just, decide we're going to play a couple games by a certain date here and now, and then get back into the rotation. Because we're not going to have any more content after next week, basically. And it's good because we're going to reset the thing, so it's good that we didn't do votes.
No, we should
for
probably
categories.
get games voted on so we can start playing soon in the beginning of next year. And even if we have to stack the games, make them choose amongst Red Dead Redemption, stuff like that, just as long as we have games that we're reviewing right off the bat.
Okay, so it's not going to be a
next year
7-week
needs
thing.
to be next year needs to be about reviewing games.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it's been about.
Right, with these little interludes in between.
Yeah. We should just play Red Dead.
I think that's exactly why he said that.
Well, I mean,
Play the
Caleb's
games we want to
Caleb's
play.
far into it, aren't you?
No.
Oh.
I'm 5 or 6 hours maybe into it.
Oh. That's not enough, man. I think I put 50 hours into that thing by now.
Yeah.
At least.
Well, I mean,
20 of it fishing.
All right. If we're going to just play games, we should play some of the ones that we've been gifted so we can get those out of the way.
Jesus.
Which
That's
means
true.
That's a good idea.
No,
A4 Extreme
no.
just gave us a shitload.
Let's do a
So,
mega vote for
you
this
guys
week.
should play Yakuza Kiwami since it was already free, and I already beat it, and I want to review it because it's a fucking great game.
Is that one of the ones you were like, I'm not going to ever play this?
You guys will like it.
Yeah,
We have it, though.
You guys will like
We have
it.
a copy of it
Trust me.
physically.
if it's voted on.
It's fucking great.
I think we should play some of the ones that we were gifted to fill the time before the votes come in.
I
Because I think
agree.
it's important to have the weeks.
I mean, we've
For the
needed to
games.
prioritize those games. So
Yeah, that's a good way. That's a good scapegoat for us resetting our schedule while also not having votes now for the beginning of next year.
Mhm.
So that's why we haven't had any votes. Is because
yeah,
we
guys,
didn't want to
just
do.
ignore the first part of this conversation. Hey, beginning of next year, we're going to work on that backlog of games you guys have sent in. Sorry we haven't got around to it, but we're making you a real priority this upcoming year.
We kind of are, yeah, and we don't want to take away. That's a good way to not take away from the votes too. That's a good fucking plan, Craig. I kind of want to jack you off under the table a little bit right now.
I mean, haven't you seen me doing it this whole time?
Yeah, I thought you were just fondling one of those caramels he brought us, but
I mean,
I guess
the
it's about
caramel
the
was in my
same
hand at the
size.
same time.
He wants little coating.
oh yeah,
I mean, where else do you get as you get
So
such
it's-
soft consistency?
yeah. I
And a
don't.
good- and a good
I don't think there's anything
bounciness to
softer
the
in this
caramel.
world than that. Wow, this caramel's getting slightly longer than it was before.
little extra
It's kinda
gloopy.
weird.
Just got to add more sugar. That's all.
I've joked about that. I don't know if I've ever said it on the show, but I've like joked about sitting next to somebody being like, "Hey, you know, it's this. I know this is really weird, but I think they like, I think they just stuck a stick of butter in this popcorn bag or this bag of popcorn. Like it's super weird. Like you mind like getting in there and like kneading it up a little bit. You know, it's totally your dick. But they're like, wow, the butter just seems to get larger and larger. oh, now it's melting a bunch. Oh, okay, now it's smaller. Like, yeah, thank you.
The hole in the bottom of the bucket trick.
Yeah, it works every time. Every time. I haven't done it yet, but I know it works every time. It just has to. It's so perfect.
All right.
But yeah, we'll play some of those games. We'll have a nomination. We'll have a vote for the Uber game, right? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
The mega game?
Today, technically, yeah, we have a vote for it.
So stay tuned for that at the end of the episode.
If we remember.
We will.
We're not still a track record on remembering drawings and shit like that, so.
We're pretty on top of it.
We did the drawing.
Yeah, they just never
Day
messaged
late,
us.
$1 short.
Yeah, well, it wasn't a day late. We're supposed to do it
A week
after
late, you're right.
after we get their damn money. It's not. We got to draw. We can't be like counting entries that were invalid. You know.
Oh, see me.
Disqualified candidates can't be in the mix. Is why.
Okay.
Speaking of,
About to beg.
Thank you, Craig.
speaking of, the winner for last time was in fact. Shit, you know what? I can't pull it up.
Do we have to listen to the episode again?
Yeah, we might have to. I'll announce it at the end. You know who you are, I would assume. Just hit us up. Like I said, with these
A whole
drawings.
bunch of Twitter messages. Hey.
I won. Hey, I
yeah,
won.
that was the guy that won.
But just let us know what consoles you have, and we'll tell you what the options are. It's just easier that way.
Yeah.
Or what consoles you're interested in getting games on, because a lot of people have their oldies, but they don't necessarily want a fucking PS1 game or PS2 game, so
Yeah.
that's how it's going to work. But, yeah, I guess, is that all you've been playing, Craig? Super light week for all of us?
Yeah.
I guess. Would you play King?
Yeah, Cameron is the only
I
one.
played Galgun at the beginning of the week, and I lost all my save data. I put like an hour and a half into it, and I must have not saved. I must have just like turned off my PlayStation or something, went to bed, and then came back the next day and tried to hit continue. Nothing.
Doesn't it
Nothing there.
autosave? I thought it auto-saved.
I don't know.
I assumed it was auto-saving, obviously. Maybe it was auto-saving to the cloud, and I can try to pull down save data from the cloud because I'm playing it off of PlayStation now. Maybe some fuckery with that. Who fucking knows? Or I just get to play the whole game again.
How far were you?
An hour and a half in-ish.
That's a lot of the game.
Yeah.
It's a big chunk of what like the end time is. It's only like a 4-hour experience.
Although my overreaction that I posted to Twitter is probably my most viewed tweet now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
getting
got about-
snuck up on.
Surprise.
Surprise, motherfucker.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Without spoiling it, I mean, how is it a decent? Have you ever played a rail shooter before?
I mean, yeah, in an arcade. So I think part of why I overreacted is I started treating it like Area 51. Is basically what was going on in my mind, where these anime girls are now fucking aliens.
They're trying to probe your anus.
Yeah, and
Is that what
so I'm like trying to keep their
They
distance.
are trying to probe your anus.
So
They would, too. They'd
in my
probably give you
mind,
some ass play if
anime
you
girls
asked.
are now some dangerous fucking alien predator shit going on, and I'm fucking scared of that. And so I'm sitting there sniping, chicks, off of cars and whatnot, looking back and forth. All of a sudden, they're fucking right there in my face. And so you can't see how fast you fucking shoot.
One of them's got a ball gag, and the other one has this massive, like 4-inch thick black dildo.
That's what it
No.
and so you when you
in
shoot
high
the
school,
gun
no
in the
one can hear
fucking-
you scream.
in the girls' locker room.
Yeah.
God. You can't see how fast you're actually pulling the trigger in the game. I mean, it does a little sparkly thing around the reticle.
Yeah.
But if you go back and watch that clip, you could see me fucking freaking out because I'm smashing that square button as fast as I can. Just lowered my accuracy like crazy because I'm just spraying back and forth across these two anime girls.
Yeah,
Did it
that's.
come out right?
I
Or did it?
It did. Sounded like it came out right and plentifully. It was everywhere. Spraying it everywhere.
I'm looking to say I was nervous. It was my first time with Anime Girls, so I can't be blamed.
Like, this isn't normally how I perform. I usually last at least twice this long.
There was a lot more than normal too.
Yeah, I've been saving up. Been busy, work.
Other than that, I really haven't been playing too many games this week because I got sick on Monday. I took Monday off, and I got sick on the day I took off. And then I worked from home on Tuesday because I was just getting a little feverish. And I went back to work on Wednesday, and I probably shouldn't have because I was still pretty out of it. But this whole week I've just been tired, drained, and feeling sick, so I haven't really been playing much.
All right. Well, now that we know what everyone's been playing this week, the real question is, has anyone beaten a game this week?
Fuck yeah, I beat that Yakuza 2.
All right, Yakuza 2. I'm going to pretend to write it down on the pen that I don't have. Nothing for me.
You're going to write it down on the pen you don't have.
I'm writing it on the pen, yes. Okay. We need to get to page 3, Caleb. Joe had faith in our ability to game.
Well, how many is on the second page?
We need to get 247 to use the third page, and you're at 39.
Okay, I was at 52.
Time for those 20-minute games you were talking about.
I mean, I do have some, but
yeah. So nothing for you either, Cameron?
No,
so
nothing.
We're barren this week. So the hog for the host is as follows. Caleb Craig in first place with 39. I am in second place with 37, and Cameron is in last with 14.
How many did we need to triplicate Cam?
52 now.
52? Fuck.
Or no, wait. 14?
Mm-hmm.
42. Jesus. Sorry.
Jeez.
42,
I was like, 52
so
is like
I
impossible.
need 3 more games.
No, it is not impossible.
All right. I have until the second off. So
Jesus Christ. Why don't you get
I could
why don't you get a sick
Cam
job?
Cam. Actually, wait. Cam is going to be Galgun, so I don't know if I can.
Well,
then I'd have to do
You'll just have to do 45. That's not that much more. I mean, that's only 7 more games in, 9 days?
I might be sitting on a game right now that's close to being completed as well.
Fuck you, what game?
He'll drop it at the last minute.
This Darkest Dungeon. We've gotten really
that Battlefield 5 has story modes.
Yeah, it's probably 10 minutes long.
It's supposed to be really short. I looked up how long to beat, and it was 3 or 4 hours.
Are you
for
fucking
the story.
serious?
It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh my god!
This is going to be an easy plat as well. So
is it just single player collectibles for the?
Single player collectibles, defeating it on all the difficulties, and doing specific missions in a certain way. So,
and their games, they're not hard on the hardest, not really.
There is one level that was kind of hard on hard, but other than that,
is that the hardest? It's just hard.
I haven't. I thought there's a harder difficulty than hard, expert or something, but I'll have to double check.
I just remember the one part in the campaign on Battlefield 1 where the planes started slamming into the ground nearby. And that was hard.
You saw that shit. You were there for when they were kamikazing me relentlessly.
Yeah. Wasn't it you also that had the guy in the ground?
Yes. What are your arms, soldier?
Yeah. What are your arms? You come around the corner and the guy just drops his gun. His arms are straight on his
and
thing.
He's shooting at me with his toes?
Yeah, and it's on his foot and he shoots you with it. And then he just sinks into the ground. It's fucking beautiful. That's the greatest glitch in a while. The glitch of the generation.
And then the fucking armored train level, and the planes decided, instead of just strafing me like normal planes, they just wanted fucking to slam me with their entire plane.
Yeah, it's like, wow, I didn't realize Japan entered the fray. Jesus Christ. Suddenly there's the fucking, the fucking Japanese.
Is he going for his first plat? No.
Yeah. Banzai!
Taking shots of sake up there.
Yeah. They were drunk the whole time. The sad thing about the Japanese is they didn't have enough fuel to come back, so they were all going to die. All the people they sent on the planes, they were expected to die, which is crazy. So, all the people that slammed into shit, those guys got balls, man. This guy's got big balls.
It's, I mean, if we ever wanted to, it's not the podcast for it, but to get into the culture that was Japan and why it would breed such loyalty. But
it's crazy.
It's a
yeah.
discussion for another podcast.
No, or like a podcast where we review a World War II game.
I guess we
Which we've
could.
only
Yeah,
done
if we wanted to tie it
and
in
it's-
that way.
I don't
There's
think
like
any World War II game has really touched on like Japan at all. It's always like
It's
the
almost always
European
Germany.
front.
Yeah, it's almost
I need to
always
find-
Germany.
Let me find this.
Yeah, World at War
so-
had Japan, but that's the last game I played with Japan in it. I think Call of Duty 3 has it too.
So,
Maybe.
interesting fact: the last,
The Last Airbender.
no, the last Japanese soldier to surrender was in 1974.
They find him in like a fucking in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my
And he would
God.
only be relieved of duty of his former commanding officer.
Wow.
And so that's the dedication that was bred.
He's
in Japan.
he's the one guy in Kong Skull Island that like wrecked his plane during the war and was like cut off from society for like 30 years.
So part of the story that was so funny is that people knew he was there and he's taking pot shots at people all the time, and they kept trying to give him newspapers and stuff like, hey, you know, the war's been over. And he's like, no, this is propaganda. I shall still fight.
Yeah. They're like, you know,
Until they actually had to fly in his former unit commander. Once they found out who he was, former unit commander, to talk to him. Hey, you know, yeah, it's over, man.
it's like we got fucking destroyed, dude. It was a while back, but we got fucked.
Could you imagine that guy's face when he found out about the bombs?
Yeah, it's like they was huge, man.
I think I'm going back in the woods and shoot people.
Yeah, that's what he should have done. He's like, well, fuck these villagers then. I'm going to use this shitty gun and try to kill them all.
I'm just going to hide in the woods and take pot shots at people. That's been going for me for a while.
Yeah.
Kind of like it. So
Can you imagine that? You have like some hermit near your thing and like you're just like going out to your car and suddenly the fucking side mirror just gets like, you're like, God damn it.
How much ammo do you think that guy had to be like taking pot shots at people
I
for
don't know, man.
years?
I know it's like the polar opposite of fucking Russia. Like they have all the ammunition. It's not like one guy with the gun, one guy with the clip. It's like, here's your gun and 10,000 fucking rounds. Go out and cause the most chaos possible.
What if we started like rationing? Like I can only shoot X amount of times per day for the rest of the year.
They must know I live, but I have to preserve. This will last me until the 70s, when our great country will finally win.
Yeah,
That's crazy, man.
I know. That just like that's the mindset. He was willing to live years of his life in the woods for his ideas and for his country, and then the people who are willing to slam their planes into ships as an act of war, and the dedication to their country and their loyalty to their country, and just like the environment that in Japan that bred that. And there's a whole huge thing we could get into for that, but another time, another podcast.
If only we had that kind of dedication to the hog, we just dive bomb our lives
and careers, our
careers,
social lives,
yeah, and just families. Just the fucking boar, like as the smoke clears from the wreckage, the boar just like trots out magnificently, mane flowing in the wind,
balls
rears
dragging
up
through the dust.
Yeah, rears up. Its huge balls finally lift off the dust, and it cries out into the night.
The balls won't lift off anything. They'd be like dragging.
Shivers every time.
Yeah. The clouds are like glowing with the flames of the wreckage. It's beautiful. That's the kind of dedication we need for the hog, and we don't have it this year.
Yeah.
This year we suck. But make sure you guys get your hog in.
What did
It's-
we get the first year? I don't think we got this many the first year.
the first year we were kind of chumps too. I feel like last year we just went crazy.
I think the first year, I don't remember how many games I beat. I think I beat 17 games or 18 games the next year and tied or just barely beat Joe. So,
yeah, I think you were at like 18
yeah.
last year.
I think we only had like 20 something for you and I like the first year.
You think so?
And
Probably.
I don't think we got to 30. I think we were close, but I don't think we got to 30.
Based on how disgusted we were at like the 52 that Jake did that year, you're probably right.
Yeah.
But now 52 is like,
'Cause I did 52
nothing.
last year.
yeah, exactly.
Disgusting.
Exactly. So make sure you guys get your hog in, though. We have about 9 days until the end of the year. They're going to end the year in European or like UK time.
Yeah,
apparently.
so the end of the year, it's going to be 12 o'clock midnight GMT. That's the where the server is being hosted. So
Yeah.
it'll be probably about 7:00 p.m. Mountain Standard Time.
Are they going to have the numbers from last year? Like,
So I'm working on that. So the person who normally pulled all of the database entries for the stats or whatnot, he's working on other stuff, and so I'm going to be the one polling that. I also have a work friend who's helping me build something Excel to make this more automated, so I could pull the data, throw it into this program, and then have it come out all ready for us.
when it resets, like, is it all going to be gone?
No,
Gone?
no,
Okay.
no.
As long as there's like some backup. Copy
And in any
of
ways,
whatever we
even
entered.
if it did disappear from the main thing itself, we have backups of it. So
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So I guess if if you watch a movie or something like that before, no, you know what? Let's just end it there. No adding extra stuff to your points. Like, just we're gonna do British time.
Yeah. So in your respective time zones,
British
find out what
Standard Time.
midnight GMT is on the 1st for you, and then
Yeah.
make sure you get any last minute hogs done before then.
Yeah. Are you guys gonna enter your stuff?
No.
I should probably do that and throw off the stats. How does he have so much stuff hogged in one fucking month?
Yeah.
In one day.
It's, you know what? I think it's cooler to look at annual stats, so I don't think it'd be a big deal to enter all your shit.
I don't know.
Craig, you should do it, dude. I want to see how many points you have. It's going to be a lot more than me,
It is.
but
It is.
it's not if you never.
I
enter
haven't.
it.
How often have you hogged?
Every time.
So
I
you
owe,
know
like,
what's sad is I haven't hogged anything for so long, and I'm only a few slots down from you.
yeah.
I'll blow you out of the fucking water the second I start hogging.
How
stuff.
though? What have you even done?
Dude, movies, games, books,
Yeah, I don't think he's logged any of that
comics,
shit.
all the stuff I have consumed has not been logged. Just like, living my life has not been hogged yet.
I have like 4 podcasts I need to put in there, but that's it. It's like nothing. It's like 4 points. I'm trying to go through all of them, and I'm in June now, I think. So like I'm getting there. I'm starting to listen to the After Darks too.
Oh,
At first
good.
I was like, oh, I'm not going to do those, and then I was like, yeah, fuck it, I'll do them. They're only like 20 minutes long.
Yeah,
So
super easy.
I mean, technically, we could count all of the podcasts because, we do them. So we
Yeah.
experience them firsthand.
I told Joe that,
but
and he
didn't we
started
have-
actually
didn't we
hogging
have-
them, and I was
oh,
like, that
fuck.
feels wrong.
Yeah, but didn't we have this argument about creating content versus consuming content and what we could log for creating stuff? Because we had this
Yeah,
one guy
yeah.
who was creating board games and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and we
but
told
we
him
don't
no.
have a criteria for board games.
Well, we don't have criteria for creating podcasts now, do we?
Well, we have a criteria for podcasts of listening
For
to them.
cons- yeah.
Specifically,
Which is a very different
podcasts.
activity than recording them.
But you are listening to me and Schweiz talk, and we are listening to you. And,
Maybe that's it. Maybe that's why I don't log podcasts when you guys are talking, because it doesn't feel like real content.
Yeah.
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 Oh, man.
Well, fuck you.
Yeah.
Go to hell, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, just go to hell. Get your shit in, though, guys. It's almost over. I want to have real stats. I want to see the first real year of Hogib. Because we didn't have it last year, did we? Or at the very end, maybe. It was something.
I don't know. Yeah, we didn't have it last year, so.
And if you haven't used the app yet, do it. It's a great way to just kind of keep track of all the stuff you've done for the
Bookmark
year.
it.
I've seen people on Twitter ask, like...
Can you really say you've consumed content if you haven't logged it?
Exactly, yeah. It's how are you not obsessed with lists? Like, that's my obsession in this life.
Lists
is
go on. So it's the guy
lists-
who never logs his lists.
lists and fucking stats and all of that is just so... It gets my panties wet, like it's perfect. I love seeing how much time I've blown, how much of a useless piece of shit I really am, having the numbers to prove it, That's what I want, and that's what you guys should want too. So get your hog in, and if not, if you haven't done it this year, you can always start it next year. We only have 70, 80 users or something like that registered.
I think we're in the 80s.
Yeah, so that's not even nearly all of you guys. It's nowhere close. So get in there, keep track of your shit, and it's a fun little competition.
Yeah,
We got some awards we're gonna do for real this time. as well.
exactly.
Not pretend like last year.
All right.
But
Do we have any questions?
Yeah, we got a couple. First one is from A4 Extreme. He says, has there ever been a game not required for any of the shows that you didn't play because of its hour count on how long to beat? Like any games that seem too daunting in terms of minimum playtime?
Could you repeat that question? I think I lost some of that in the Craig way.
How? He basically is asking like
How, he says, and then becomes incoherent.
Fuck you.
How?
That was clear and concise. You piece of fucking shit.
I understand the question. He's the one. I'm just helping him out.
So the gist of it before I stopped paying attention because it was boring. Are there any games we did not play because of how long it was?
Yeah, that were outside the show.
No. I mean, the longest game I played was for the fucking show, so...
Persona 5?
Persona 5.
Yeah. I don't think I've had any that I didn't play because of how long it was.
I mean, we have started strategically picking games in with certain, time to beats for certain people who have other podcasts.
Well, yeah,
with
but
other
that's for
angry.
the show. He's talking about like outside the show, like that you wanted to play.
Oh, so outside of the show, yeah.
That you just didn't take on because of how long it was.
I mean, Red Dead Redemption.
Is that because you know how long it is?
It's a long fucking game. I just didn't have the time to play it. I knew I'd get around to it eventually, but I haven't picked it up just because I had so many other games I had to play.
So that's sort of one?
I'd say that's kind of qualifies, but, not in the long run.
Yeah. For me, I would say the only one that comes to mind is probably the Nocturne game. And that's sort of ish for the show because it was gifted to us. Most of it was, anyway. And so, I mean, that's probably
10-cent tax you had to pay.
Yeah, I don't even think it was 10 cents. But anyway, it was... It's the biggest reason why I haven't played it and I haven't started even playing it is because of how long it is. And I have other things that I have to play for both of the shows, and I want to limit the things that I play for funsies to like the big games that I've been waiting to play for a long time. And like Red Dead. And Red Dead I've spent a lot of time in. And it's kind of becoming an issue now because I've got stuff that's like due for Ultima in about a week, and I haven't started it.
The games that I find fun that I sink hours and hours into are fucking multiplayer games that don't get me anywhere on the fucking list. So,
well, you don't care about the list, clearly.
I do.
Craig's talking about tripling down on your ass.
I fucking want to stay in fucking gold on Overwatch, gold tier or higher.
Oh, so you have to keep playing.
Yeah, and then I haven't played in a long time, so I'm not ranked anymore. But then... fucking Battlefield 5 is good, and just it's more about the multiplayer experience. So you're working together with your friends, your team.
Well, and the funny thing is, I think that's why in the first year our hog was so pathetic because we played a shitload of Battlefield in our first year of the show. I'm pretty sure because Battlefield 1 that came out. Did that come out right when we were starting, or was that in year 2?
Well, I think it came out in 2016?
I don't remember.
I know it was at the end of the year for one of them.
Update on Battlefield 5, though. They have reverted the time to kill back to what it was, and so now it's a legit game again.
Oh, okay. That's good. It was October 21st, 2016 for Battlefield 1. So the show was a thing. Mm-hmm. And that was our first year. That's probably why, because I feel like we played a lot of multiplayer stuff.
We did, because that's what we enjoyed doing. And that was when the podcast was more about friends, the clan, getting together.
Well, that's because now the clan it's fractured. See, now we only have 3 of us, so we have to make up for that.
I mean, it's not like Joe was ever fucking playing multiplayer games.
That's a good point. Yeah, he was never actually there, so.
So what it sounds like is that you need to pick up Battlefield 5 so we can bring the clan back together.
That is kind of what... Do you have it?
Cam, it is on sale. And you did say when it was on sale you'd buy it for me.
I said maybe.
How much of a sale
but
is it
I'm
on?
more inclined to
it's
purchase
like $30.
something.
So
I'm more inclined to purchase stuff for Craig than I am for you, Shwai, so...
I thought you were just about to say the opposite.
No,
and I would have been
fuck you.
understanding because I would play Battlefield. And I'm an ally that you should be willing to pay.
I know you'd be more of an asset to the team, but Craig will actually play with us.
I am kind of selfish in those games, but when we were playing with you, me, and your roommate, we did some pretty good shit.
Dude, yeah. And then Zach's part of the team, too, so...
That's almost a full
we
squad.
Have a studio
would have
audience
a full...
today. Zach is listening, so...
Yeah, it's our first live... Well, not our first live performance, but... We actually thought about doing that one time, doing like a live podcast for Ultima. It never worked out, but
yeah, Mexican Hat live from Mexican Hat, Utah.
yeah, live from Mexican Hat.
Can we record on the Mexican Hat?
I don't know if they'd let us do that, but I feel like we could probably do it in time and then leave. So we are straight up live from Mexican Hat, the Mexican Hat.
Just like on top of it. Just real.
Like it's like anybody beat a game and then the hog bores, and then you hear like police sirens and a bunch of like quick footsteps running away. Fuck, get out! No, get the shit!
Tag the hog! Tag the hog on the Mexican Hat! Hurry!
Yeah, get him! Hashtag hog! Hashtag Mexican Hat! All right, run! That would be a lot of fun. I kind of want to live there. Especially because there's another town nearby that's called Montezuma's Creek. And, like, it's funny because it's like Mexican Hat is, like, fucking upstream from that. Or, yeah, it's upstream. So, like, the reason why Montezuma's Creek is because of the filthy water from Mexican Hat. Because Montezuma's curse is, like, diarrhea, you know? Like uncovering Montezuma's tomb, like the curse was supposed to be the runs, and it's down from Mexican Hat. I thought it was like just some like redneck fuck, just like, I'll call it Montezuma Creek, but it's like fucking deep. It's deep and perfect. It's what it is. I'll make it downstream from that Mexican Hat. It'll be hilarious. The curse of Montezuma. Like the one redneck guy that was like a historic buff, a history buff, was like, Yes, we're doing this. It's fucking amazing,
This
dude.
is a joke just for me.
Yeah, no, some poor bastard 30 years from now in the post office is going to laugh.
Jokes, though.
Exactly, yeah.
Those are the best jokes.
It's great, though. But I was wondering, I was like, Mexican Hat, why the fuck would you call your town that? And now I know. Now I know exactly why they would call their town that. If they called it Sombrero, it wouldn't be as good.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be from Mexico or the Mexican Hat. It would fly right under the radar. But yeah, you really buy it for Craig first, though, huh?
Yeah, probably.
Craig would definitely play it with you, though. I know he would.
I mean, I could get it for both of you for Christmas, so there's that.
Well, I mean, it's up to you. I ain't buying nobody anything for Christmas.
Oh, I know.
I'm poor. I mean, I'm not
Cheap
actually
ass.
poor, but I'm just greedy, I guess. I don't know. I had a lot of big fucking expenses this year, to be honest.
I know. Any other questions?
No. Oh, yeah, we do. One more, right? You said
Yep,
a couple?
The other one is from Jake. He says, which game publisher has had the worst year and who had the best?
I think the best year for a game publisher might be Rockstar because of Red Dead 2's massive success. It's already outsold the first game by like almost double. And this is one of those moments where I'm like kicking myself because I was looking at like I was thinking about it. And I was like, okay, I want to start doing stock stuff. And I was thinking like, okay, what am I into? And I was like, okay, I'm into games. So it would make sense for me to like play around with the stock market when it comes to video games because that's my thing, you know, that's what I play. Mm-hmm. And I was looking at the fucking stock for Take-Two Interactive.
And it's impossible.
And it was $97 when I looked at it last, and I was like, that's steep. But I was thinking, you know, if I got like $10-20 and I bought 3 of these, it'd be a $30 increase on my thing. And I was like, that would be awesome because I'm pretty sure Red Dead 2 is going to be a big game. And then I went back and I looked at how much Take-Two's interactive stock rose after the release of Grand Theft Auto 5, which is the most successful game in the last like 30 years or 20 years at least. Mm-hmm. It didn't move at all, basically. It was like it like barely was affected. It was like $1 or so. And so I was like, okay, I'm not going to do stock in video games. I'm not going to worry about it. It's just not going to happen. So that was March of this year when I had that epiphany and when it was at $97.46 a share. Mm-hmm. And it fucking when Red Dead 2 dropped, almost $130. So if I would have bought like 3 shares, I would have got $100 easily.
Look up Santa Monica Studios.
Bethesda probably dropped quite a bit
I know.
recently.
So, as for an example,
now would be a good time to get into that
before the release of
because when they release Elder Scrolls
Elder Scrolls
6 and
yeah.
then that other game that there was
Anyways,
like
I have
I
have a theory
Starfield?
about the app. I have a theory about Fallout 76 and what its real purpose was. So
It was supposed to be the
DLC for Fallout 4 that they turned into a game because
they turned it
they
into a
wanted
game
money.
because they knew their fanboys would buy it
They knew, they knew they would spend a
to
full.
fund other projects like the Starfield.
I was telling that to a guy at work the other day. I was like, the only reason why it wasn't a Fallout 4 DLC like it was initially supposed to be, and we all know it was supposed to be, because they realized they could sell it for full price, do collector's editions, and no one would say a word. And I mean, they are saying a word now.
Saying plenty of words now. So,
but mostly that's because they dropped the ball on it. If it would have been a pretty fun game, no one would have said a goddamn thing.
Mm-hmm.
There would be a few people that would be like, I know what happened, but it's really fun, so fuck it.
yeah.
But
No.
they sent out a half-cooked fucking burrito.
And I have a gripe against that, but I'm going to wait till the main episode content. So
Yeah, I totally think that's what happened, though. And because they announced, like, hey, look, Elder Scrolls 6. Oh, there's a tech demo. And I'm like, right, now we got to pay for it.
So how did Santa Monica do?
Santa Monica, unfortunately, they're owned by Sony Corp,
Oh,
so it's not really going to reflect a whole lot.
okay, that's true.
Well, Sony made their own. They made they made a separate company for PlayStation stuff specifically.
Yeah, I think Santa Monica's still
So
owned
that
by
one-
Sony Interactive or whatever.
I think that was the one that they separated.
The stock barely rose, though. It's not very high. So it's a little more. It's a little different because that's like a huge umbrella. If Santa Monica had their own, like if they were a private company on the stock market, then we could truly see what it did. But I would say Santa Monica might also be one of the ones that had the best year as far as like being a studio, because Santa Monica
That's
is
exactly what I was bringing them up for, because I think they had such a good year.
Yeah, they
Such a
really
good game.
They really did, and it was a big success. You know, it was a
big
huge
success.
deal.
I think Insomniac Games had a pretty good one because they released that Spider-Man game, and their last thing that they did was that kind of mediocre Ratchet and Clank game and movie. So,
Okay.
So like they came back pretty hardcore with the amazing Spider-Man game.
Right.
So I think they had a pretty great year this year.
Nice. Yeah, I guess on ResetEra.com there's a thread that's saying God of War surpassed 9 million players, which is pretty crazy. That's not that many sales. It's probably only like 7 million or so, or maybe 8 people like borrowing copies and stuff. But that's a lot of people that have touched the game already. And it's already the most successful God of War game they've ever made.
Yep.
So it's been a huge year for them. They've dominated the awards. It's basically between them and Red Dead 2 as far as like everyone's like
And we all
picks
know,
for everything.
honestly, which one's the better one. So.
You haven't played Red Dead 2.
We all know which one's honestly the best one.
I know which one. I don't know if you do.
Have you, Zach? I'm going to ask the Peanut Gallery. You've played both, right? Which one's better? God of War.
It's not an easy choice, though, is it? Yeah, he says it's not an easy choice. The ending of the main story is pretty fucking great, and
Yeah,
Yeah.
like God of War just had that emotional quality to it, especially if you've played the previous series, that you just can't. Oh man,
it's close. They're both really great games. There are some things in some of the awards that Red Dead won that I think it is better at. I do think it has a better soundtrack. I do think it has better voice acting. I do think it has a better narrative, but maybe not a better story. Just the way they tell it, the way it's like so many
I don't
things
know.
interweaving.
the way they told the story in God of War is pretty fucking fantastic.
I'm gonna have to play Red Dead, and then we can see.
I would say like it's a more
Because-
complex narrative, at least. God of War's is very simple, and that's one of the things
Yeah,
I
it's
loved
a simple
about it.
story, yeah.
Yeah, I just need to play Red Dead.
Yeah, no, they're both really fucking good games. And I don't know which one I think is better. I don't know what I'm going to choose at the end of the year. Next week's episode, no idea.
No idea.
Nope.
Okay.
No fucking clue. And I made my Skullet guy for Red Dead Online, and I keep getting disconnected from the fucking server because I'm playing upstairs with ass Wi-Fi.
You guys
would you
need
ever
to,
fucking
you
do
need to
that?
make your
Skullet?
King of
No.
the Hill guys
No.
for
Play off of Wi-Fi.
for that Red Dead Online.
Yeah. King
I
of the Hill
tried. I
games.
was gonna make what's his name, but I can't. There's no Indian skin tone.
Oh, you're gonna.
I was gonna be John Redcorn, yeah. And then I'd get like Cody to play his son, it's like the boy, you know, he's like a super small version of me. Dude, that would be awesome.
Oh man.
I want to do that so bad. I wonder if you unlock more skins and stuff as you play it. I'm not sure, but
I don't know.
it's still in the beta, so it's.
I mostly just want
up in
them
the
to add any kind of glasses because, like, it can't really be Dale Gribble without.
You know, I have a relative
glasses.
who actually speaks like him. It sounds exactly like him. It's crazy.
Like Dale?
Mm-hmm. They can't understand anything he's saying.
Oh, you mean Boomhauer?
Oh, Boomhauer. Sorry. Yeah, fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't doubt it. I was gonna say I know a lot of people that talk like Dale. I mean, maybe not a lot.
Conspiracy
but-
theorist, fucking crazy dude.
I have to find him on Facebook again. It's hilarious.
Yeah. It's they both had really great years. I would say Bethesda is probably the one that's had one of the worst years.
Look up their stock real fast.
For Bethesda.
Yeah. And while we're on the topic of stocks.
If they're even a company that does that.
I don't know if they've had the worst year, though, because they had a pretty good E3, and then the Fallout 76 is really their only big disappointment.
Oh, wow. I think, okay. It's
Oh,
owned by
yeah.
ZeniMax,
Yeah.
and ZeniMax is, I think it's, fuck.
We need to also look up Blizzard and their fucking Diablo for the phone fiasco thing. Don't you guys have
There's so
phones?
much fucking overreaction to that. It's so fucking stupid. It's like, we want Diablo 4. Yeah, well, we're still making it. We're just putting this out while you're waiting for
Honestly,
Diablo 4.
yes, it was an overreaction, but the way they handled it was just hilarious, dude.
Well, I know. It's because, like, everybody was a piece of shit and was like, well, is it coming to the PC? Because they wanted it to be Diablo 4, and they're like,
And then they say no, and then everyone's like,
it's for the fucking phone. They're still making Diablo 4.
yeah. It's the Donald Trump wins the presidency guy, like screaming on the ground all over again. It's fucking these inbreds, God. And it's like, you're fine. The game's gonna still be. We're gonna still do a Diablo 4. We're not gonna make the mobile game our focus. What are you high?
So honestly, no. Honestly, Bethesda actually released a mobile game the correct way.
Which one?
So Fallout Shelter.
Oh, yeah,
so
they did
so
that
what they
one.
did is like, hey, we have this huge announcement, guys, but here's this free mobile game as the pre-announcement. Everyone's like, oh, wow, that's actually pretty cool. If they did the same thing, if Blizzard did the same thing for Diablo 4, it would have been much better.
You know what's funny about the stock?
Well,
for,
Diablo 4 is still a while away.
Yeah.
And they were basically making this Diablo game for, like, Asian markets because they
exactly,
play
because they're way into the
mobile stuff more
mobile, yeah.
exclusively. So they were like, hey, guys, we're making this Diablo game. You're going to be able to play it, too. Like,
Honestly,
it's not
Blizzard
really
could
for
care,
you,
Blizzard
but
could care less about their core fan base here in America when it came to that mobile game because they're going to make so much money off of it in the Asian markets.
You know what's hilarious about the fucking Bethesda search for stock? They are also owned by Take-Two Interactive, who owns Rockstar, and the stock in the last, since the raging success of Red Dead 2, it has gone down to $101 instead of the $130. So Bethesda fucked him over in a way.
Don't worry,
I'm sure that's part of it.
Bethesda. Okay, we can get into that.
They'll come back, I'm sure. But I think it's been a pretty bad year for Telltale Games as well. I mean,
Telltale definitely had the worst year.
because they're gone now, and it wasn't even like Microsoft bought them and then were like, "Heh, fuck you." Closed them down.
Studios.
Yeah, Lionhead Studios, the guys who made fucking, I can't remember what the studio is. The Age of Empires guys, got bought by fucking Microsoft. They made Halo Wars, and then they shut the studio down. They also shut down Rare after buying them. Like, Microsoft is evil, dude. They are evil.
They're doing it so that they can control the IPs.
They are, yeah. And they can re-release the IPs. That's why you could buy a bunch of Rare games on Xbox now. That's exactly why they wanted to do
the
it.
Rareware collection, yeah.
And I mean, some of these companies might be duds now, and they might not be like Rare. I don't know if they were going to keep continuing to release great games or anything like that. It might not have been worth it to keep them around, but that's exactly why they're doing it. They're just picking up these good IPs, re-releasing them, cashing in.
See, that's one of the things I don't like about Microsoft is they keep buying these companies, but then they like shut everything down so they can have the IPs, but then they have like no companies that will make games for them now. Because they have less companies that make games specifically for them than like PlayStation does. Because PlayStation has like the Santa Monica Studios, Insomniac Games that are going to bring out like Ghosts, and then they have a Sucker Punch, which is going to do like Ghost of Tsushima next year. They have all sorts of companies that are like PlayStation exclusive stuff, and then Microsoft is like, yeah, we're going to buy a bunch of studios and then close them down.
The one thing I'm worried about is that they're going to close down. They're going to close down Ninja Theory.
They're not going to close down Ninja Theory.
Fucking, all I've seen from Microsoft is they buy them and they close the fuckers.
They're taking like the opposite thing now. Is like they're buying studios specifically to make.
But remember, I said that guy looks like he wants to fuck your wife or sister if he like lived with you for a little while. They're like CEO guy for fucking the Xbox. The Ron Howard guy, yeah. He's gonna fuck Hellblade, and he's gonna leave it in the dirt. You wait, they'll have like a big old exclusive game, and then they'll be like, yeah, they're not lucrative anymore. We're gonna close them down.
Yeah, Boom. If they do fuck up even once, Microsoft most likely will just
got that one strike system.
Yeah. They basically did that with the Lionhead Studios.
Yeah, but they were making that game forever, though.
Yeah.
Well,
and honestly, Fable 3 was not that great.
They still have the Fable thing, and they're bringing back Fable now because they own the IP. They're just not having Lionhead Studios do it.
Yeah, I don't know if it's going to be the same, man. I mean, I know it's not going to be the same.
No, it's going to be different.
But I mean, the same thing happened with Doom. None of the original creators were on the new Doom game, and we loved that. That was like an homage to the...
Some of them were.
I think... not the two main guys, at least.
Yeah. No, they moved on to other stuff.
It's Bethesda now. It's not just
Well, it's still id Software.
Yeah, it's owned by them, but it's not even the same company at all. And they said they were done with Doom after 3. So it's like, I don't know, but it's like
I'm glad
beautiful...
they brought it back, and I'm glad they're keeping it alive.
Yeah,
in such a new and innovative way. If we ever wanted to do an episode of music in games and how music can enhance gameplay, fucking Doom 2016 is just a star example of that.
Yeah. Yeah, the way they program that soundtrack is great. Yeah, there have been some good years for a lot of people, some bads. Telltale, I'm not really sad about. I find most of their games kind of subpar.
I find them barely games.
Yeah, they're just interactive experiences.
I tried to play one once. It wasn't hard, but just lost interest.
Yeah, it's not, and they're not always super riveting. Like, I enjoy them when I'm playing them. When I'm done, I'm like, oh, that wasn't as bad as everyone was saying. But over time, I'm just like,
I mean, it's like a 10-hour experience of you playing like mini games. Essentially,
it's just the game version.
Not even like mini games. It's like a 10-hour experience of nothing but the God of War interactive.
It's just the game version
stuff.
of like choose your own story type book.
Yeah, and honestly,
it's not even choose your own story because most of the stuff will happen anyway, just to a different person. Like specifically in those first like 2 Walking Deads. Like, you basically just choose who dies, but then that other person that you save dies later.
Yeah, it's like you have characters A through H, and it's like, okay, choose character A or B to live here. And then later it's like, character A or B dies here. So it's like, they either die in Chapter 2 or they die in Chapter 3. They're dying.
And they have that formula in, like, 80% of the games that they've released.
And it's like, don't you want to play it again? And it's like, not when I can tell what was going to happen. Like, in the second one, there's some big stuff at the very end that you can choose and really alter what happens. But at the end of the day, it's like, I don't know. I've never played one of them twice. Never. And I played one on PC, and I could platinum it by playing it again on console, but it's not worth it because there's no need.
Yeah.
I already got all of my emotional fill out of it.
Yeah, there's
time.
like the trophies for them. Like, don't even like call you to play them again. It's
No, they just dole them out.
One experience, and then you're done. They're not even like, hey, make this choice at this point. Make this choice at this point.
Exactly. Yeah, that would be cool if they did that. And
You'd
just
have
had
to
like
do
a
at
ton
least
of
two
bronzes.
playthroughs, you know. But
Like every trophy is a bronze, so they have the same like value for the game. Instead of like gold for getting to chapter 3, it's like, thanks. Like I didn't even work for it really. It's just
yeah,
just fucking gave it
for
to
a
me.
game studio that was basically like choose your own adventure shit, they had very limited choices.
And they didn't give you a reason to do those choices either. There's no reward. There's no unless you're really that into the story, which you're probably not because they're not that engrossing. To be honest, like I'm always positive when I walk away from them, but like in hindsight, it's like they're all just okay, and that's just how it is.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say about that. I don't think any other examples really come to mind. Nintendo, I guess they're fucking destroying this year. The
Yeah.
Switch is like the
Nintendo
biggest
has had
thing.
a good year.
They're not really so much the
Switch,
development.
Smash Bros.
Yeah, the Smash Bros is big. I would say more as like
I don't know what else.
a console end is where their big success comes from. I'm sure Smash sold like crazy and everything else, but I think they've had a pretty great year.
That Let's Go Pikachu and
Yeah.
pretty well.
I'm kind of glad they're up and on the up and up again too because the Switch is great.
Should have invested in Nintendo stock like a year or so ago
When it was
before-
Wii U.
Yeah, when it
the-
was
the
you invest,
post-Wii U
invest,
era.
invest in Wii U era, and then you'd be
It's
right
just-
and rich right now.
Probably,
because
yeah.
Pokemon Go alone did wonders for their stock. So
Yeah. That was like a fly by night though. You got to get that.
Yeah.
You got to buy and
Pokemon
sell
Go
in
makes
like
me
3
laugh,
weeks
though, because like Pokemon Go had almost nothing to do with Nintendo.
yeah,
I know, yeah.
yeah.
You know what's funny though? Isn't
People
this
just
just
thought
a
it was
reskin.
Nintendo, but it was like
A reskin
literally
of another game.
Niantic.
You know what's hilarious about that is the new game looks just like Pokemon Go to me.
Well, that's kind of the point.
Let's Go Eevee and Pikachu. It was
Yeah.
it was meant to work both
They have-
with the game, so you could actually
yeah, they have like a similar catching system.
Yeah, I
because,
saw
like,
that.
You're supposed
and
to
the berries
do it
and
the
shit.
same way.
and can't you trade certain Pokemon back and forth between the games too? That you
Oh,
could catch
between
them.
Go and
Mhm.
oh, that's really cool.
Yeah.
it's
a cool
they,
And if you
they
get-
took
if you
out
get
the
the Pokeball-
Safari Zone for from the old games and put in like the Pokemon Go parks, so you can like bring over your Pokemon from Pokemon Go and then just go in and like catch them again.
Oh, well, like it's like shooting fish in a barrel almost. It's
Essentially,
fucked
yeah.
up. Come in
Yeah.
with your shotgun. You're like, all right, you're fenced in.
And then you could put Pokemon inside the Pokemon thing that came with Pokemon. Like it's a Pokeball that you can buy as a peripheral to Pokemon Go.
But like
you
a
can
real
use it-
Pokeball, like a physically.
Yeah,
Okay.
It's
but you can use it with Pokemon Let's Go, and you can actually put Pokemon from the game into the ball. And if you carry it around with you, then the actual Pokeball. Then I guess I don't know what bonuses you get.
It like boosts like the XP of the Pokemon. They like start making noises and shit.
Yeah,
You
the
can, like,
Pokeball will make the
I
Pokemon
don't
noises
know.
every now and then.
Yeah, and for buying it, you get a Mew, but
The only thing I miss about Pokemon Go is like getting the steps to hatch the eggs. That's like the one thing. That's like end game.
So
Pokemon Go.
there's
no.
no eggs.
Hey, no, in Pokemon Go, it will now track your steps when you're not in the app, and so just track your steps throughout the day, and it'll give you rewards and experience if you reach a certain amount of kilometers a day.
Oh, dude,
I'm
I'll
hacking eggs
reach
like
it.
crazy.
I'll reach it. I think
So
I
download the game again and allow it to track your steps.
I think like a week ago, I did like almost 12 miles of walking in my workplace.
I had that
which is
going. I
sick.
had that going when I went to Disneyland, and I got so much experience.
Fuck! I
and
wish I
stuff
would have.
from it.
I think you've said that before.
Yeah.
I just don't listen to you
No,
people.
you never do. Like
Uh,
on one of the episodes that we were talking on, I had this huge thing where I was paying for 2 apartments and I was moving to a new apartment, and he just totally forgot that I moved.
And I went through those episodes recently, and we talk about it like extensively. I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. You said you were in between apartments. You're paying for both. That's kind of crazy. You should party in the other one. And I said like all sorts of shit about what you should do with the empty house. And then like 3 months later, I'm like, wait, you moved?
What?
I drive to go like get on a hike, and I'm like, this is not where he was before. I was
No.
like, did you move, Cameron? And he's just like, yeah, I moved. Like, I moved. You just forgot. Yeah, so it's sad.
Yeah.
It's sad. That's the one thing I loved though, is like hatching the eggs and getting the Pokemon that you can't really get or in your area very often, because some of them will be like kind of legendary or just
They'll do
It just
events
doesn't-
every so often.
Yeah,
to switch them up.
Yeah, but like it's that I thought that was the funnest part of Pokemon Go, and I there were times where I was like, you know what, I kind of want to go on a walk, just kind of capture some Pokemon. You know, I'll go on a little jog, I'll get the incense thing going, I'll like catch the fuck out of these
Pokemon
guys.
Go is still pretty popular where I work, and so we'll do walks every afternoon and whatnot.
Yeah. Do you have like a Poke-Stop?
There's
there?
a Poke-Stop at where we work.
Do you guys
yeah.
like throw up lures and shit all the time?
No, because so the stop is you can't actually reach it when you're in our office section. You actually have to leave and go to the bathroom for the building in order to reach it.
Oh, so like the bathroom lines are just like
no, there's only like a handful
okay.
of us who are in the game. So.
We had one right on top of where I worked. It was like the buffalo downstairs. The buffalo statue at Frontier was a fucking Poke-Stop.
Nice.
And it was just lure city. I didn't have to buy any lures. There were like 30 other people. Just like lure would go down, like a minute later, just a new one pops up, shitload of Pokemon. You just like do all your catching.
Yeah, nothing that intense, but we'll go do raids every so often.
Somebody would come by and be like, lures up, you know, and everyone would whip out the phone, and because the app ate the shit out of your battery, you know, badly, very terrible. It was a great time to have stock in like a fucking, you know, like mobile rechargeable charger thing.
A decent mobile battery pack.
Yeah. And people were selling them too. Like at the Provo Library, there were guys like selling mobile
those
battery
were
packs.
cheap battery packs too. Oh man, it's like yeah. No, I don't want to get in that, but yeah.
That was insane how big that was and how quickly it died. But all right. Anyway, I think that's it for questions. Let's get into this week's discussion. All right, Cameron, what do you got for us?
All right, play that clip for me to start off the segment.
All right, let's do it.
Doesn't mean shit, okay?
Oh.
Okay?
God damn it.
Sorry.
Sir Count, pre-order doesn't mean shit, okay? When you pre-order a game, you're just committing to paying for something that some assholes in California haven't even finished working on yet. You know what you get for pre-ordering a game? A big dick in your mouth.
Okay, that is the clip. Is that your sentiment on pre-ordering games?
No, well, so I do want to have a discussion on pre-ordering games and, you know, why it became a thing. It's not necessarily my sentiment. There could be reasons to pre-order games that are good. Mm-hmm. But I just wanted to talk about, you know, that overall.
Have you guys all have pre-ordered games?
Oh, yeah.
Before, yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You don't do it anymore, Greg?
I haven't in a while, no.
What, Digimon is the last one you pre-ordered, you fuck? Or did you pre-order Red Dead?
Oh, I did pre-order Red Dead.
Jesus Christ. Okay, did you pre-order the other game you bought recently? Like, did you pre-order Pokemon Evolution?
No, I got those when
7?
When they came out.
Okay.
There was like no real reason.
Turns out Craig only pre-orders as we go back through his history of like games he's bought. Oh yeah, I pre-ordered that.
I pre-ordered Fallout 76 because I was like, "Fuck you guys, let me be excited about a game for once."
Is that the only thing you've ever pre-ordered?
No, fuck
I
no.
did.
Okay.
I did pre-order.
That's a bad
I also pre-ordered No Man's Sky.
Oh man, you have the.
And I was about to pre-order Battlefield 5, but I listened to Reason, and I did not, which is okay, but because I've actually picked it up since then and quite enjoy it. So
yeah, I was gonna say out of those 3, that would be the one I would probably pre-order.
Yeah. Anyways, so pre-ordering, why did it become a thing? So everyone knows way back in the day when games are mostly physical, in order to know how many copies of game they to make, they would kind of predict or try to forecast how well a game would sell.
Right. Yeah, the millions of units shipped thing.
Exactly.
That we always see.
And so to avoid having millions of copies created that wouldn't sell and just be wasted, money at that point, they would, have to gauge, well, how popular is the game, and if they ended up going to the market without enough physical copies to cover the demand for it, then you end up with angry fans who don't want to buy your games next time or get hyped up about it. Wow. And so it was a real fucking finite line that they had to, ride down. Don't make too many copies, but don't make not enough copies.
Right.
And that was all just, trying to predict the market. So a way to help predict a market and how well a game would sell, they would allow you to pre-order a game. So this started becoming, I guess, more popular in 2000s, maybe even before then, where you could go to your game retailer that you preferred, put down $5 to reserve a copy of that game through that game retailer. And when the release day came, you'd go to that physical location and then pay the rest of the money for that game and then walk out with your copy that was reserved just for you.
Mm-hmm.
And since this was such an easier way to know how many copies of the game would sell, because they knew not everyone would, pre-order a game, but by an X amount of people pre-ordering a game could make it to where they would know how many other copies of the game to make to fill the demand of people who don't want to pre-order or who just want to stroll on a game opening day and just buy it outright.
Right, yeah.
Then holiday season, right after a game is released, is a really big time for game sales as well.
Yeah, you get over time, you get enough data to see, okay, this game sold 5 million total. There were 1 million or 2.5, 3 million pre-orders.
Right.
We can kind of gauge, do the math and gauge what our pre-orders are,
Mm-hmm.
and
then
kind of look at what the sales are going to look like.
Sometimes, I think it was Rockstar who did this. They would, do the pre-order thing, but then they would oversaturate the market with games anyway.
Oh, they definitely did.
And so they kind of just, they kind of defeated the purpose of the pre-order anyway. Because there's going to be enough fucking copies of that game, whether or not you pre-ordered it.
Yeah, because I was like, oh man, how could I not pre-order Grand Theft Auto 5? I'm like, what an asshole. I love the Grand Theft Auto games, and I was like, just go see if GameStop has it. Oh, they had it. They had 40 copies of PS3 Grand Theft Auto 5, and I'm like, fuck yeah, I'm buying this shit. I didn't have to pre-order.
Frickin', Grand Theft Auto has always had a shitload of copies.
It's just I don't know. That's just their pre-ordering was made to make it so you don't waste stuff.
Maybe that's why it's the third best-selling game of all time, because everyone just there've been 800 copies of it at this one GameStop since it came out, and everyone over time is just you know what? Fuck it. Yeah, I'm going to buy GTA 5.
Yeah, I'll get it. Yeah.
It's all about those later down the road sales.
Yeah, that's actually
yourself.
A point I want to bring up later about pre-ordering. But and to further incentivize pre-order sales, they would often give you extra cool art to go with it, like an art book or a guide to go with the game, a cool statue, and that was a part of the pre-order bonus that you would get, especially when games were more physical. You would get something cool to make you want to put money up for the game, and sometimes more than the actual game's value, to get this extra content. And that's okay for something you like, to buy a more collector-style edition.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But that's kind of how pre-ordering games started. And I don't know if I have that much of a problem with that, because when you're putting $5 down to reserve a physical copy of a game for you, you're guaranteeing that you're going to be able to play that game the day it releases.
Yeah, the thing is at GameStop, if you do that, it counts towards your total.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
So it's not like you're
not paying $5 and then the $60 on top of that. No, that $5 goes to the overall game purchase price.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what was the first game you guys ever pre-ordered?
Probably Fallout. No, sorry.
Ooh.
Probably Halo Reach.
I have no idea. Maybe God of War 3, but I'm not sure.
Shit, dude, I pre-ordered Final Fantasy 12 on the PS2. It was in 06.
I didn't pre-order until I had a PS3.
That thing came out, or it was coming out, and I was like,
was that
yes.
Was that during your fucking buying people's fucking food stamp days?
Oh no, that was shortly after that. Shortly after. Let's see, in 2006, I would have been 15. Oh yeah, that's definitely. Oh shit, no, I think that might have been before. But no, it wasn't because I had the money from that. I actually did stuff back then. But yeah, that was the first one I pre-ordered, and I pre-ordered it, and I think my grandma helped me, because back then, dude, PS2, so beautiful. The games were $50, and so the collector's edition for that was $70.
Right.
Collector's edition for the remastered for it was $120, I think.
Right, but see, we're going to see a trend here. That's the next thing I want to talk about. That as time went on and games became more digital, they would now create different tiers of pre-order that you could do. You could just pre-order the standard game. You might get a bonus or two from doing that. But the more money you're willing to fork over, you might actually get a physical copy out of it, and they're going to get the art and the statues and all the stuff that you used to get just from pre-ordering something. And so these collector editions came about just as a way to get more money out of their dedicated fans.
Yeah, steel cases. Those are my favorites, probably.
Yeah, I'm probably still going to get the steel-cased Souls collection. So
It's pretty cool.
yeah,
And it would be nice to not have a PS3 version of Dark Souls 2.
exactly.
I don't know how much better it's going to make that asshole of a game, but
No.
the UI is easier. If I want to shut it down, it doesn't take as long. So
Right.
turn it off and rage,
And so now you can pay even more money. Like you said, the remastered edition was $120 for the collector's edition. That's a huge expense.
I think it was actually $200.
Exactly. And
I
I know
paid it.
I was going to fucking buy the Power Armor edition for Fallout 76 for $200. That was going to be me. It's just a good thing that it sold out before I could get there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you would like the Power Armor. At
Oh,
least,
I
right?
mean, I think I would enjoy it, but I'd have to wear the helmet so I couldn't see the shaman whenever I looked in the mirror. So.
Yeah.
Dude, I'm so mad I didn't have the money to pre-order the collector's edition for Witcher 3 because that fucking statue it came with is like running for $400.
Yeah, it's insane.
How much was it?
For the collectors, I think it was like $150.
Oh my god.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But even if you pre-order a digital copy of a game, you can order you usually have a couple tiers. Just your standard pre-order the game. They might give you a skin or an emblem, whatever. But then you can order a online deluxe or special edition of the game that goes from anywhere from $80 to $100, and that's just for digital content, nothing physical.
Yeah. It usually comes with like skins, extra like boosts. Like when I bought Red Dead, I got a couple little bonuses. If I would have bought the more expensive version, I would have gotten like more in-game skins, more like free horses up front,
Yeah.
like stuff to make the game a little easier to start out.
And the thing
Shit like
is, you're paying all this extra money for things that don't really matter in the game overall.
Yeah,
you
like-
might get like an extra boost or two, or whatever that fucking does for you, but in the long run it does not change the game for you, because it can't. Because if it did, then online games would start to favor people who pre-order their games and spend more money on their games, and that will exclude people who didn't pay that money to pre-order, and it would exclude people down the road who are just picking up the game as the time goes on. Because the games nowadays are acting more like services than just complete products that you just pick up. A game has a shelf life of when the developers will continue to update and continue to work on a game, which is fantastic. But in order to do that, they have to know how many more players they continually bring on as time goes on. This whole thing with Battlefield 5, where they're messing around with time to kills and stuff like that, they wanted to make the game a little more casual before the holiday season. So when new players join from getting the game for Christmas, they're not going to be deterred from it automatically. They wanted more people.
fucked.
They wanted more people to play the game, because that means more people to buy in-game content like skins and whatnot. And so when you view a game like that, you don't want the pre-order bonuses to be so fantastic that it ruins the game for everyone else that they want to play the game down the road.
Right, yeah.
And if the pre-order bonus gives you something like extra missions to play or something like that, that's going to be in a complete edition of the game later if you wait.
Yeah.
There's no reason to pre-order it. You could probably get it on sale, complete edition, a year or two down the road. Didn't even have to pre-order it. And so that's another thing that is a minus, in my opinion, about pre-ordering games, is that extra content or that game itself you're paying extra money for. If you wait just a little bit, it's going to be on sale.
Yeah.
You spend less on the game and still have the same satisfaction and enjoyment for that game, unless it's something you wanted to play right when it got released.
Right, yeah.
But then later, the complete edition is going to be available as a DLC that's for like $15 down the road.
Yeah.
So
It really is almost every time.
that's the incentives are not worth it when you're just getting digital content instead of an art book for the game or something else that makes that pre-order special, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I'm usually, for me, when I pre-order a game, I'll pre-order the games that I'm going to go full hog on. The only recent example of me not doing that is Red Dead 2. And it's because I was kind of poor, and I'm still like recovering from it after I got married and we went on the honeymoon, because I spent a lot of money out there, like a couple grand, and I had just barely agreed to spend about $5,000 on something else too. So like, kind of fucked, right? And I was like, I just don't have the money to buy this. But thankfully, a couple people gave us Amazon gift cards, and I had an Amazon gift card myself from my rewards card at my bank, right? And so I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna buy Red Dead 2 on Amazon. I'm not gonna play it day one. I'm busy as fuck with all these other games. I know I'm not gonna have time, so I'm just gonna buy it online and get it there. And I was looking at the collector's editions, and the big fucking roadblock I ran into, the $100 one, which is kind of steep, and I was like, it's a little much. It was digital only, and the $100 one's the one with the steel book.
Right,
it's the one with like the cool map that came with it, but it was only on Amazon. It was only available digitally. I'm like, I'm not gonna buy a digital copy of this game for $100. Like, it has a steel book. Like, what are you gonna give me, like a fucking GIF or a GIF of someone looking at the steel book, and that'll be included with my digital
purchase? Give me a paper
purchase?
copy of a disc to throw in here.
Yeah, and I'm like, I kind of want the physical package here, and.
Yeah.
The $79 one only gave me in-game bonuses, and I was like, I don't want that.
And we just talked about in-game bonuses amount to fucking shit. They amount to nothing. In the long run.
Really. And like, you play the game long enough, I have plenty of money.
Yeah,
like I can buy whatever horse I want.
It
I
might make the beginning grind a little easier, but the beginning grind's what makes it good.
It kind of can be. Yeah, it's like, I'm going to go do these side quests. I'm going to go explore this world because I need fucking money. I can't go on without money. I'm getting killed. My weapons are... I need to buy gun oil to like clean my weapons off so I can fucking hit something occasionally in this game, like there are plenty of reasons to go do the side quests, and that gives you a well-rounded experience.
Yeah, and some of those bonuses are some companies are doing the thing where like they do the day one editions, where they like advertise it as a pre-order bonus, but really like it just comes with the game.
Yeah,
like they did that with Spider-Man, where they were like, pre-order and you get this one superpower, and then you get this. Then you get a couple like ability points early on, so that you can get an advantage when you start, and then you get the game, and it's just like part of the game.
So you didn't pre-order that?
What?
Did you not pre-order that?
Mm-mm.
So another
fucking
thing,
liars.
When you pre-order a game and they give you like, you get this special mission that no one else gets, you're further incentivizing the game studios to chop up a completed game into more DLC. Basically, you've already compartmentalized a part of the game on day one to people who pay more. And again, that's going to be available down the road in a year or two to everyone else. So,
one of the things we were bitching about on Ultima was... Ultima Final Fantasy, the ultimate Final Fantasy podcast, of course, was when they released Final Fantasy 15, they had a GameStop exclusive for A King's Tale, which is a it's like beat-em-up 20-minute game that was released with the game, and it was exclusive to GameStop. Like, you pre-order at GameStop, you get that game. And I was like, wow, that's kind of dick. And Joe was like not happy about that at first, but I was like, you know what, dude? They're probably going to release it down the road for like $5 or something like that. We'll probably get access to it at some point. A year and a half later, the game's just free. You can just download it and play it. It's like it's totally free. So a lot of those, it's kind of cool to have that incentive though, because like GameStop's like, you know what, Square, we want to do a deal. Like, give us something and we'll promote the shit out of your game. And they're like, okay, you can have this game a year early. This little like companion game that's just a little fun side project we did.
Timed exclusives.
Yeah, and that's great. Timed exclusives, I think, are great.
They do that with Bungie does that with PlayStation, where they give Destiny some exclusive content for like a year, and
on
then
PlayStation,
it moves over to Xbox.
And that's awesome. But I think it needs to be limited, though. I think it needs to be a limited time, because it wouldn't be fair if my ass couldn't play A King's Tale just because I didn't fucking buy it from GameStop, especially because I'm like, I buy it from the Square Enix store straight up, so fuck you, you're getting all the money. Why the hell are you holding out on me for this fucking GameStop? GameStop is going to get some of your bottom line, but I'm giving it all to you, baby.
GameStop might have they might have had a deal where they're giving more of the revenue to Square Enix, just because now they can have more sales go through GameStop.
Yeah, there's probably some sort of a deal, and 15's all about deals.
It's like fucking romp and
cup noodle. Cup noodle and fucking Audi, and God, it just the list goes. Coleman,
so many
the list goes on. Yeah,
crossing over with fucking Assassin's Creed Origins and fucking Tekken 7.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's just all over the place.
Monster Hunter World's doing that, but I quite enjoy that.
Yeah.
Well, Monster Hunter World, yeah, it's
Monster Hunter World is crossing over with most of its own shit, and also Final Fantasy
like
14.
Capcom's own stuff.
Yeah.
They did the Devil May Cry, and they did something else.
But then
Street Fighter
CD
and-
Projekt Red just right around the corner, though.
It's true. They did get that Witcher 3 in that in there.
But yeah,
Monster Hunter.
the pre-order bonuses can be pretty awesome.
I mean, I fucking was gonna drop $200 on Power Armor Edition, even though it turned out to be a fucking horrible idea.
That's just collector's edition. That's not necessarily
Yeah.
like a pre-order thing.
But it's a part of no.
Do you kinda feel like-
you can't? Okay, Craig, you can't really separate hairs on this one because the collector's edition to get it was a pre-order of the game. It's what it fucking was.
That's true. Yeah, you had to pre-order the collector's edition.
You had to pre-order the collector's
and the reason why
edition.
you had to do that is because they only had a certain amount of them made.
They
So-
do that sometimes, but not all collector's
You can
editions are like that.
can say on paper that a collector's edition is not a pre-order of the game, but the way it's marketed and sold, it is a huge fucking incentive to pre-order the game, and
Yeah.
that is
It is
exactly
an incentive,
what it is.
Some
but
companies
it's not
make-
necessarily a pre-order.
Some companies make too many
No.
though. Like right now, you can buy the FF12.
Yeah, you could still
Zodiac
buy the
Age
collector's
collectors.
editions for games like on Amazon and other
Yes,
places.
being sold from other people who pre-ordered
No,
the fucking
no,
game.
from Amazon itself, like from a game that's like decades old.
Okay, so
Or-
games that are
or
decades
even
old,
like-
that's different.
Or
You're
even
talking
like
about
Mortal
a different
Kombat
era of
9. You
collector's
can still
editions.
buy the collector's edition from Amazon for Mortal Kombat
That's
9.
different. That's not necessarily pre-order the game. That's a physical copy of the game.
Mortal Kombat 9 is fucking sweet, and it's not a pre-order.
So the
I'm
Zodiac
talking about
Age collector's
this current
edition,
age of
you can still buy it on PS4, and it's $100 less than what I paid. I feel like an asshole. I bet you. I don't even want to look at the Dissidia NT one. That one's probably like $40 for the collector's edition, and I paid $200.
yeah.
We got to go into collectors or like pre-order regrets at some point, but
But you can't currently split hairs on what's a pre-order and what's not a pre-order when it comes to collector's editions.
if you
nowadays.
want it, you're gonna pre-order it. It's gonna be a
that's
pre-order.
the only way you can do it.
It's
because
too
of
risky
its limited
without it.
release.
Yeah, like
And if you don't pick it up and you still want it down the road, you have to buy it off of eBay from someone charging you twice.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. There was one Final Fantasy Explorers that I missed the collector's edition to, and it's like $300 now.
But
Exactly.
really, you only
I'm like,
it's
fuck
only
you,
like
man.
that because you have to beware of the scalpers. Like you could still get some stuff day one or even like a week after, but like the scalpers are the ones
The
that
Power Armor
have
edition
made it
sold out
so, like that.
immediately.
Yeah,
I mean,
It was
looking
crazy.
back. It's probably a good thing because I would have bought it. I would have spent the $200 fucking dollars on it.
Well,
It's not that
people are
much
getting
money,
their
dude.
canvas bag now.
It's more than it should be.
every one of these collector's
Yeah,
editions up here
Bethesda's
is
now
at
releasing
least
patches
200.
on their physical content. So,
yeah, I saw that little thing, that Reddit thread or whatever.
but yeah, that's my beef with the collector's editions and then the bonuses for pre-ordering. So,
Well, one of the things that you said about them chopping up the like a finished game for pre-order bonuses can also be said about like DLC and stuff because like it's usually a DLC thing that they're like, oh yeah, if you pre-order, then you get some of this DLC early or you get it now, and like it's one thing that made me mad about when I got Dragon Ball Fighters is that I got the Day 1 edition, which was also like thing as a pre-order, but it gave me Goku and Vegeta as like the Super Saiyan gods, like you get them in the game, but it was also a DLC that I had to like go put in the code to get, but it was a little leaflet inside the game. It's a Day 1 thing, so it's like DLC already, like Day 1, you already have it in the physical thing. Why not have it just be in the game?
It's your reward for buying it day one.
so
But it's in every fucking copy. Every fucking copy
Well, they only
has
printed them the one day.
leaflet of the thing to buy the game.
They ran the fucking game.
Everyone
printing
will have this
factory one day, so it was all day one.
It's literally trying to trick people into getting the game because it's like, hey, you get this day one, you get this, but it's in literally every copy of the fucking game.
Thursday
point.
at the disc factory was Dragon Ball Day. Every one of them was a day one edition. Printed like 10 million of them.
There's a huge discussion we could get into on DLC as well, just because the market has kind of found its place with $60 games. People are willing to pay $60 for a game, and sometimes with pre-order bonuses or collector's editions, you can find whales who are willing to spend more. But for the majority of people, the $60 is kind of that's the peak of what they're willing to pay. And games nowadays cost more money to make than they used to. And so how does the developer get more money from the people willing to pay more money with still being able to sell copies to people who are only willing to pay $60 without splitting up a player base in a game? And this is very apparent in games like Battlefield, where they used to do premium passes where you automatically get all of the downloadable content, but that's split player base, which is very bad for multiplayer games. You don't want to have a community split up based off of what parts of the game they purchase, and that just makes the game die off quicker. So DLCs was the first answer. Hey, if you want new maps, you want new characters, you can spend more money to use that. But games like Battlefield and other online service type games are now trying out a method to where, hey, all of our DLC for the game is going to be free. If you bought the game, you're going to get it. So how does a company like that continue to make money?
The rise of loot box shit.
Loot boxes and cosmetics. And so now people are okay with cosmetics because it doesn't actually change the gameplay itself. It doesn't give people unfair advantages like the stupid shit we found out with Star Wars Battlefront 2.
Yeah.
And they're really just trying to find a medium right now. So that's DLC versus loot boxes versus, being able to make in-game purchases. Games need to continue to find a way to make money, and pre-order bonuses and getting people to pay more is one of them. Doing this, in-game purchases is another one, and then DLC has been the way it has been, up until a point. But we're seeing a change in that area already.
Well, here's what you do. You go the Rockstar route. So I've got the Grand Theft Auto timeline pulled up here. The first one was released in 1997. The second one was released in 1999, 2001, 2002, 2004, a bunch of other little ones. 2008, and then 5 years later, Grand Theft Auto 5. And the reason why we don't have Grand Theft Auto 6 is because they're making so much fucking money on Grand Theft Auto Online through GTA 5 that there's no need. They don't need the money from Grand Theft Auto 6 at all.
No, they're going to
done.
be using Grand Theft Auto 5 money to fund the next project.
I'm sure they're gonna be working on GTA 6.
Yeah,
because I think Red Dead 2 was announced
games
a year and a half
have
ago.
A lifespan, so.
But that one's lifespan is over 5 years now.
Let's look at Rainbow Six Siege. That's actually a good example of a game that had a rocky start, but that has grown a super hardcore fan base.
Yeah, a lot of people really love that game. Mm-hmm. Like, people I just randomly meet will talk about Rainbow Six Siege,
and they're constantly treating it like a service, and they're updating it. And that game has had an outrageous lifespan so far.
Yeah, it's not a new game. Mm-mm. It's really really fun too. We played it for a while,
but we never played it competitively online, and that's
not really
a disappointment to me because I wanted to do that.
I kind of wish we would have, but it's you create something like they've done with Grand Theft Auto Online, and it gets so big and so lucrative for them that they don't really need to make a new Grand Theft Auto. They don't need to make Fallout 4 to make money. They just need Fallout 3's online to be really good. With GTA 5 and 6.
Yeah, and that's another point I wanted to get into. So, two games that I pre-ordered, both of them disappointing, different reasons, but I feel like both of them are disappointing for different reasons. So the first one I want to talk about is my pre-order for No Man's Sky. Now, Caleb brings up a point. No Man's Sky might have gotten out of the developer's hands a little bit with the hype and excitement around it. He did end up promising things that didn't end up in the game, but I feel he was more or less trapped in what he promised because of the hype for it. And when you are pre-ordering a game and you've already said, hey, I want to buy this game, and depending on how many people are pre-ordering a game, a developer can probably feel locked into releasing a game when they promise to release it. Because if they keep pushing it back over and over again to get to where they promised the game would be, you're going to have a lot of people super mad about pre-ordering a game that they're not going to see for a while and might want a refund. And so now you get a game that's released before it should have been. Because now, No Man's Sky has a ton of features that were not in the original release of the game.
Yeah, but it's almost dead.
When I first played it, it was a boring game. I had
there's a lot of people that are buying it now because of the recent
I had maybe
updates.
An hour of fun when I first picked it up, but it became way too repetitive. A lot of the features that we were promised were not in the game. But now those features are in the game. They have expanded space fighting. You can actually own freights now. You can build bases. You can play with friends. It's become the game that they've promised it would be when they released it. But it took so long, and people became disenfranchised with the game because of the lies that started out at the beginning. And a lot of people got refunded for that game. I feel like pre-orders can, for smaller studios like indie game studios, they're now locked into a release date that they should be pushing back. Because now they promised something, and I promised it on a certain date, and they're not going to be able to deliver.
Yeah. That is kind of one of the things. It does sort of put a deadline on your release date, And Square Enix, of course, with Final Fantasy 15.
Yeah, they experienced that too, where they had promised shareholders and other people a certain time that the game would be released by, and they tried to push it back as much as they could, but they still had to release it within the year. So they got screwed over with some stuff, which is why a lot of people have the feeling that it's not a complete game, it's not finished. They started doing DLC as like episodes that should have been part of the story, but
I think those might have been DLC planned all along, but
maybe, but I don't know.
And it was supposed to come out in September. It came out in November instead. It was a big deal. And they had a huge press conference. They had like a massive press conference, like blowing the game and like telling everyone this is the day it's going to come out. They spent a lot of money on this conference thing. Came out 2 months late. But don't ever do that.
In the long run, wouldn't you rather people come to the market with a complete game?
Absolutely. I was fine with them delaying the game. I was like, if they say
they
need more
delayed
time,
it even more if they could.
In the long
they
run,
weren't able to.
Doesn't it make sense not to pay developers for an incomplete game?
It does, yeah.
So another example of
so
this
don't pre-order games. Is what you're saying?
I'm not saying anything.
It should be mostly complete by the time you start talking pre-order. Though it's kind of dick to be like, you want to pre-buy this that I'm not even started on yet. Huh?
Let's talk about.
They've done that with games on like Amazon. Like as soon as it becomes announced on E3, they put a slot for it on Amazon to pre-order.
It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, what if you would have pre-ordered?
See, Amazon preemptively gets your pre-orders out so they can know how many copies of the game to purchase from the studio,
so they can keep your shit cheap. Yeah, Amazon's great, but
Amazon was great because that's where I did pre-order like most of my stuff. But then
they give you a free copy of Final Fantasy 15.
They got rid of the ability to purchase a game pre-order or like within the first day and get 20% off. They got rid of that because they were being pressured by companies, I guess.
Yeah, you can't undercut prices like that because...
Well, Best Buy was doing something similar. They had like a Best Buy club that you had to like pay for, and then
also
you get, like,
Best
20%
Buy
off of their games.
I'm
and stuff.
sure they get the rest of their money back from when they anally rape you for everything in their store.
Yeah, but
it is literally the worst buy.
I think they got rid of that program.
Now that Toys R Us is gone.
It's because of and once you start undercutting prices of competitors and stuff like that, there's
Well, it was only for like physical copies, like
right.
and Sony was getting mad because it was undercutting the
digital sales.
The digital sales getting where they get most of the money.
I can kind of see that. I can see why digital is becoming such a big thing because used games, that's not great for the developers. That's not a good thing for the devs.
So digital. So another thing that how game developers can make money and how they've come to that $60 game tag price. That was also part of that was the physical copy they're actually making. The manufacturing fees was included in that.
Yeah.
And so now they're pushing digital copies because now no longer do they have to actually make the physical copy of the game. And number two, they don't actually have to put it in stores.
Exactly, yeah. They
and
don't
they're
have to worry
saving
about
so much money from that, and they're not going to worry about making too many copies of the game when X amount of sales are going to be done digitally.
Yeah. I mean, Hellblade being a digital only, that's a great move.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they made it physical now since it got moved over to
really?
Xbox. Microsoft started pushing the physical copies and had to release a PlayStation 4 and
physical is
Xbox
better for
edition.
us because we get to loan it out and borrow people's copies. But like, I can see why it would hurt a dev because like if I buy or like on PS3 where one of us would buy it and then the four of us would download it all from that file. Instead of all four of us buying a $60 game,
And
one of us
now-
buys a $60 game. We each pay $15 for it.
And now that we're doing things digitally, you can't share it around, and so that's more guaranteed sales.
You can only share it with one person now on PlayStation 4.
One thing that I kind of enjoy or like the idea of is they've been there's like a company, I don't remember who does it, but they've been doing like a limited run of physical copies for like certain indie games and like other games that are digital only. And so people who want to have a physical copy of said game can like go out
That
and buy
physical
it.
copy of I Am Setsuna I had felt real special.
Yeah.
With that alternate cover art that I could
And
swap it out with.
here's the thing, like, it might be hard on the devs, and this is where I kind of like derail from what I was saying before, where physical copies can be harmful to their overall sales, but like, it's almost like an advancement in technology. Like for the post office, right? I'll use this example. Before we had all the parcel sorting machines, they would sort it by hand. You would just have the mail. You'd have like 200 people holding the mail and like passing it down until you found the right bin to put it in, and then you put it in there. And that's how the mail worked. That's how the mail worked for a long time. That was great for the 200 people that had to do that one job. Now it's like a 10-man job. That's also great because it's fucking technology. We're advancing. We're moving forward. You no longer have to do a million things to get a game released. You can just fucking upload it into a server, which I'm sure is a ton of work, but comparatively nothing compared to like the amount of bullshit you gotta go through to like contract out the copies being created, contract out the artwork, contract out all of this, like get all the cases, get all of that put together. That's probably way more expensive.
Yeah, I don't know if
having
it's the same thing with video games as it is other products, but do you think studios and publishers have to compete with floor space with other games and actually have to pay for the floor space they get?
I don't know. See, the interesting thing is,
I think it's different with stuff like that.
it kind of is because GameStop wants to sell a bunch of copies. So, like, if
Exactly.
they know a big game is coming out, if they know a Red Dead 2 or a Grand Theft Auto 6 is coming, like, they're going to have a lot of displays. They're going to have a big thing for GTA 6.
If they get displays, usually they'll just be like, "Hey, do you want to pre-order this? This and this and this is coming out." Like like anytime you go in there for anything, like any tiny thing,
Yeah.
they're like, "Hey, you want to pre-order this? You want to pre-order this?"
Also,
pre-order
you should
this?"
probably never go in there because they're kind of a fucking ripoff, to be honest. Like, I like to go in there to peruse and look at things that I'm going to probably buy on Amazon. That's like what I go into
Yeah.
GameStop for. I never actually go
They're
in there.
They're
thinking,
a window shopping store.
Yeah, they kind of are now that I know that Amazon is
kind of funny though is when I wanted a physical copy of a game because I wanted to play it right now instead of having to wait for a download. I'll still go into a store and buy it
Yeah,
because I want it now, which is funny in this internet age.
Isn't it?
when you should-
Yeah, it's so ridiculous. Just wait a little bit, and you'll save money. But it's like, no, I have to have this today. And then you look online, and it's like, oh, it's on sale, $10
But then
less.
I have to wait for it to be shipped.
2 whole days of waiting. Yeah, it's
So yeah,
then want it now is we got that instant gratification, and it's almost working in their benefit.
yeah.
Which is odd because they're the lower tech end of the spectrum. They're the you got to buy the physical copy as opposed to we're downloading everything, never leaving our fucking caves that we live in. As we play these games and never see the light.
Well,
It's-
it's kind of it's weird because like if it's a game that you know that you want to play, like for God of War, for instance, like you and I had played the
Fallout
series, and like
76.
we were
Yeah.
fucking excited for the game to fucking come out. And so we were like, yeah, we can't fucking wait until it's like $20. Like, you're
Yeah.
shitting me? We have to play that right now. But
Exactly.
if it's a newer game, a newer IP, something like Vampire or something like lesser known or like a first game for someone else, then you're just like, maybe I can wait a little bit.
Yeah, I kind of take the Steam approach. So I was real bad with Steam when I first got my computer, and I would buy so much on the sales. I would just blow like tons of money. Be like, oh yeah, I want to play this. I'm going to play this. I'm
Steam
gonna play
sales
this.
kind of aren't fucking fair. Like fucking the entirety of Tomb Raider for $17.
Yeah, it was less one year. It was $10.
Oh my
and I was
God.
like, oh, dude, that's like 20 games. That's 50 cents a fucking game.
How
Like,
many times can we sell this dead horse?
Well,
Yeah.
I freaking got the
A million times.
There's also like the Fallout collection, which had like Fallout 1, 2, and Tactics for like $3.
oh yeah, you know how they
And then-
advertise that? They said 3 Fallout games, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'll buy it. And then it's Fallout 1, 2, and oh yeah, Tactics, because who the fuck has heard of Fallout Tactics? Everyone that bought that pack that thought it was going to be Fallout 3 because it had like the Fallout 3 helmet on it, and it's like, fuck me.
Well, I mean, they were selling Fallout
Fucking
3
deception.
separately for like $5.
I know, I saw that. I was like, why would I buy that? Because I'm going to buy the pack. They know why.
Yeah.
Because it's not in the fucking pack. Still a good deal, though. 3 games for $10.
Yeah.
But my thing now for Steam is I look at the sale, I see the godly price. I see Tomb Raider, every fucking Tomb Raider that's ever been for $10, and I ask myself, am I going to play this before it goes on sale again? If the answer is no, you don't buy it.
yeah.
And that's why I haven't bought a game on Steam in over 2 years. It's because the answer is no.
That and your computer's going to shit.
It is. I only have the one monitor now because it cooked this one, which is the bigger monitor, by the way, the nicer one. But
Anyways.
that's how what you gotta ask yourself. So I think that's why we don't really pre-order that many games. Like Cameron pre-ordered No Man's Sky,
And and
you regret it, right?
it. I also pre-ordered Fallout 76, and I regret it.
Are
But-
we going to pre-order Doom, the new Doom game, though?
Yes.
Fuck
No,
yeah.
Yeah, like, absolutely.
Anyways, another point I wanted to get at is it's a very different situation with Fallout 76. A very different corporate thing that happened with that game that's different from No Man's Sky. I think Bethesda was pulling an old Vault Tech experiment on their happily vaulted fan base.
Yeah, they're not in a bubble; they're in a vault.
Yeah, so everyone who's happily sitting in our vaults just asking Daddy Todd Howard to experiment on them. He released this game, Fallout 76, and it's an idea that they've had for a long while as a DLC or an expansion of Fallout 4.
Because they talked about it.
But what happened was...
Would you have been, and if it was a $20 expansion, I don't think anyone would be pissed.
Right.
At all. They'd be like, yeah, it's not the best, but it was cheap.
What happened was...
It wasn't.
Came in the season pass.
Yeah.
They had a meeting, and it went kind of like this. It was, hey, we have this cool new idea called Starfield. That's the name of it, right? Starfield's a new game.
So, yeah.
We have this cool idea named Starfield. We also have this the next installment after Skyrim that's going to come out. And we need to fund this. We need more devs for this new cool project we're doing, and we need to to further expand our new game. So what if we took this DLC idea and we actually dropped it as a full game? But we don't want to spend too much money actually developing it and sending it out. So let's say the players create the content that's in the game and have to do minimal developing time for it.
I just want to do an image of, like, Todd Howard slowly turning into Phil Spencer from Xbox, like, and you're the girlfriend of the dude who you're crashing with for a couple weeks while you're in between places.
And the idea
It's
was
fucking
like
raw.
the idea was like getting a whole bunch of money for minimal effort.
Look at that fucking guy.
That sounds like a great idea. And so they float the idea. They announce it like this big, cool, revolutionary game that they've come up with.
Yeah.
And they check the pre-order sales. How are those doing?
Great.
Fantastic.
Fucking amazing.
Fantastic.
We don't have any more power armor in the first 20 minutes. It's gone.
And I actually checked to see how many. Can you pull that up? I actually want to have real statistics to back that up. And so they fanboys like me pre-ordered the game because fuck you. Let me be excited about a game that looks cool. And they fucking played us. They took our money to fund Starfield, is what I think that happened there. They might continue. There probably has been updates on the game already to make it better. But that game was designed to fund other projects, is what I think is what was going on. And so even though there is a big falling out, and even though Bethesda has a no refund policy...
I'm sorry.
They made...
That was an ad for the game that we're currently taking a giant dump on.
It was a ploy to get more money out of their Fallout fanboys, and now we're crying about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a good reason to cry about it. It's not like when
How many game copies did it sell?
the internet. Let me see.
Doesn't want to tell him.
Yeah, it says there's an article that says Fallout 76 and Battlefield 5 sales are disappointing.
Anyways, the point is, even though that the sales,
1.4 million in November.
even though
For
the sales
76?
Yeah,
the sales are disappointing when it comes to real games, that was basically a ton of
that's a
money
million
that they made,
copies at full price for Fallout
that they
76.
made for Fallout 76.
Yes.
It's just there. 1.6 million.
It took Nier Automata a while to get to 1 million copies.
Yeah, and Bethesda's
Put
used
that in
to
perspective.
big sales, but like this, they still make a lot of money. They make like a ton of money
This
off
was
of Skyrim and stuff.
an
but-
in-between game because they couldn't keep selling copies of Skyrim.
or Fallout 4, because everyone
Or
was kind of
Fallout 4.
lukewarm towards Fallout 4.
Well, I mean, they have other
And it was
games.
just a way. It was a cash grab, is what it was, to get more money out of us to further fund other projects.
Yeah.
And by pre-ordering this game, I was supporting them in that endeavor. I'm telling them, hey, this is a great fucking idea, and it's working. And now I have supported that corporate decision of theirs.
You know what the sad thing is? From the moment they announced it, there were a bunch of people around me that were super excited, and I was like, I think it kind of looks dumb. I'm like, it's a game that's been made 1 million times already,
Well,
but now it's their version. So like maybe
But
their
there was
version's
more
the
content. There was more content in it
being shown.
It was a different area of the Fallout universe, the Fallout world.
It's not even canon. Like it's
And new monsters, new guns, and they made base building better. No, not really. And being able to basically create a clan online, and and you could become the fucking raiders.
See,
you could become the survivors and starting wars and stuff like that. But it's just so fucking empty.
the
There's
only
nothing
other
there.
person that I know that pre-ordered it is Killian, who we went to Oktoberfest with.
Yeah.
And he says he's starting to like the game now.
Okay. I need to jump back on. I just haven't had time or desire really, but time really. So.
Yeah, he made like this weird emo girl with daddy issues. Is what he called
See,
her.
one of my favorite moments in that game. I clipped it. I still need to upload it because it's super fucking funny. Is me and my roommate and this other guy that we found, just some random kid from Alaska.
The third person that bought the game.
Yeah, no, there was actually a lot of people. And so we just found this random kid from Alaska who just joined with us, and our sense of humor jive, so he just kind of claned up with us. So it was a lot of fun.
Nice.
And we're sitting there looting houses and whatnot and getting stuff ready, and then we're like, dude, let's become the raiders. And so we took off all our fucking clothes besides the leather armor stuff to make it like super fucking like not quite Raider-esque, but we're still weird looking, right? And so we're all sitting outside with our big old fucking sticks with nails in them, with our only leathers on and our whitey tidies, and this other random dude comes walking by and goes, what the fuck's going on over here? We're like, we're fucking Raiders, man, don't mess with us. And that moment by itself was so fun, just the random interactions you get with people, and that was the fun part of Fallout 76 that I've had so far.
Yeah.
The actual content in the game, there's fucking nothing.
Yeah,
It's empty.
I told a lot of people, I was just like, I just have a bad feeling about this one. Like, and I had a bad feeling about For Honor too. Like, I've got this.
For Honor was actually really
For Honor's
fun.
awesome.
I have like a sixth sense when it comes to games. Like,
I don't
I don't know.
think
I
you do.
enjoyed For Honor. I didn't pre-order it. I picked it up on sale, I think, and I still have fun playing.
For
it.
Honor is fun.
and here's the thing.
It's difficult, but yeah.
I think I have ESP, right? So there was
I have ESPN.
There was one time I think I actually do have ESPN. I'm not sure, but I
You have ESPN.
yes,
I have
exactly.
ESPN. That's what
And
I
I
was
have
fucking saying.
ESPN 2 as well for the not so awesome NCAA teams that play each other. But I there was one time in high school where like we were skipping school every day, all the time, right after metals class, because that was the only class I cared about. Even though I didn't actually do anything in there either, I just kept making a ring.
I actually did really well in my welding class.
I was really good at welding, but I was like, they were like, okay, you need to do a project, and it was like the second half of the year, and I just said I was going to make a ring, and I just kept fucking up
At
the
the
rings.
end of the year, my metal teacher was like, he'd select kids to suggest to go to the fucking Ford Trade School for welding, and he was kids he would like, who did well enough in his class that he'd suggest to go there. He's like, hey, you could do this if you want, and you'll get blah, blah, blah money. You can go there right after high school and stuff like that. I'm like, that sounds cool, and I like welding, but I want to do more than trade school, so.
Yeah. I think Mr. Hill hated me at Provo High because I was like the kind of chubby gamer kid. And there was one time I had like really frayed pants, and I was welding, and it got really hot in there, and I looked down with my goggles on, and all I see is like light, and I'm like, whoa! And I whip them off, and like my pants are on fire, like they're burning up.
That's why we were never allowed to go on the welding floor without wearing those fucking jumpsuits.
Oh yeah, we didn't have that there. We just, and then he saw it, and he was just like the shame in his eyes, and I'm like, I can't weld. I can never be a welder.
Fucking wear the full on suits
no.
and stuff?
All we did for the arc welding was straight up the helmet, and that's it.
Huh.
So I think I burned my pants
Did you?
twice,
How many different
actually.
types of welding were you guys going over?
We did the 3, but I never did the 3rd one. I never did the TIG.
I did all of them. I loved it all, dude.
I just didn't
Stick
do
welding,
it because
MIG welding, and then TIG welding was a lot of fun.
The one I thought was ridiculous was when they had us do the acetylene welding, and I'm like, this is just for melting metal. Like,
Yeah.
I know you can weld, but it's trash.
Yeah.
And it takes way longer.
Yeah. Anyway,
So I would just like eat through it. Like,
I guess the safety
sadistically.
regulations in the fucking Springville High School are much better than
fucking
Provo.
somehow, yeah. The shitty Provo.
We had
high
a
school
really
Provo.
cool garage though.
Yeah.
And the separate welding booths and all that.
Yeah, but anyway, I would skip every day after welding class. And then there was one day where everyone's like gathering up, ready to go skipping, and I was just like, I had this feeling in my gut that was like, don't go. And then they all got busted by the truancy officers. Like, they all got reported to their parents and shit. And like, it's a big deal, but I didn't go. So one time I didn't go. I got this Sixth Sense, man. I didn't buy For Honor. I didn't buy Fallout 76.
I don't know what your problem with For Honor is.
You guys played it for a bunch, and then you didn't play it.
Well, just because other games came along.
Soul Calibur
Yeah,
6.
fucking other games.
I
We're
didn't
still
buy
playing
Soul Calibur 6.
Oh, Camp 2B's out.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Battlefield 5 I didn't buy. That's not really. I don't have like a gut feeling that it's going to be trash.
It's
from
not.
that
It's
one.
not. I'm going to be honest. It feels a little light on maps and content right now, but there's more stuff coming. The time to kill's now back to that fucking optimal place. So it's a fun game. Especially
should
get it
probably-
when it's on sale.
I should probably just buy it.
You
I
should.
know I'm going to have a lot of.
$30.
I know I'm going to play it for a long time.
Sniping is hardcore again. So
like 4.
more like 3 again. The gunplay feels more reminiscent of 3.
God,
Sniping was amazing in 4.
3 sniping is like painful. The bullet drop is fucking through the roof.
I have to show you that clip. I just felt so fucking good when you land shots.
I miss Battlefield that isn't Battlefield 1.
But there's no fucking 40 times scope in World War II, so.
That's true.
Anyways, yeah.
I miss 4's sniping, dude. Once you got it down, it was just
Sniping
like
was so good.
you
in
would
4.
go to a guy, and then you would just know exactly how much above his head you'd have to do, and then you just watch his head just exit the back of his dome, like just, and you're like, oh, every time you came a little bit, it's
yeah,
like,
dude.
fucking yes. And then you kill his buddy, and then you kill the guy flying the helicopter, and you watch the helicopter drop and blow up and kill everybody
I love
inside.
Doing that. I love sniping the guy driving the helicopter. Oh,
Yeah, as if
Piloting?
you have.
yeah, I have. I've shot a guy out of a helicopter.
And then the Creedence Clearwater Revival moment, Fortunate Son, the guy coming over like the fucking sand in the desert, he starts shooting at me, and I just quickly scope in, nail his head, and then like he dies, and then the helicopter just lands again like peacefully. He was like 30 feet off the ground trying to kill me.
My Creedence Clearwater moment in Battlefield 4 was taking the fucking troop transport helicopter and fucking squashing snipers on roofs with it.
Yeah. Silver spoon in hand.
And it's whoosh.
Or when we would play the game, the map with the levee, and we would listen to like Led Zeppelin's when the levee
the
breaks.
levee breaks. Play the song. Levee's breaking.
Quick, it's snowing out. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The map actually kind of sucked after the levee broke. 'Cause
Oh,
you're
it
just
did.
like swimming like a fucking chode, and everyone's
Yeah.
killing you in the water. Just fucking swimming
Oh,
along. Obvious as fuck. But yeah, I miss that shit so
Yeah.
much.
So Battlefield 5 has yet to develop Battlefield moments like that. I'm hoping stuff like that becomes more apparent. But the game itself looks beautiful. It plays beautifully. It's more hardcore than Battlefield 1 was, especially now that they've reverted the time to kill back to where it
That's
was.
good, yeah.
So
I like
$30
one a
pick it
lot,
up.
but
Yeah, I think I
4
like
is
this one more than 1.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Now, kind of end this pre-order discussion. When is it okay to pre-order a game? And there's 2 moments in my mind when it's fine. When you really want to support a developer, and they're not fucking doing an experiment on you, and they have actual pre-order bonuses that are not just like game exclusives, more like along the lines of what a collector's edition might be. I'm okay with that because you're actually getting physical content that you can look at and have at your home, and
something to be proud of.
Artwork that you could get with God of War and stuff like that. That's cool. I think is a suitable pre-order bonus. So it's more physical stuff to make it more tangible for you.
I think they should just call it like the Big Paycheck Boy edition, though.
Yeah.
Instead, like my paycheck is bigger than yours edition.
Although this is definitely playing off of their companies are now marketing nostalgia, where they're targeting our generation as we're coming into our actual careers and whatnot, have more disposable income. They're going to start coming out with these remakes of these games that we had as a kid, but with huge collector's editions because nobody can afford it.
Yeah.
They're going to play off our nostalgia, just like me when I bought that Creative Surge. It's just like, oh, kids in the 90s are now have disposable income. Let's target them when they're in nostalgia.
Yeah. Spyro coming out, the Spyro trilogy.
Spyro.
Looks amazing, by the way.
Those classic consoles that are coming out, all targeted at us specifically. Yeah. We are now the whales for these companies, and they're going to target us where they can, and that's our nostalgia.
Yeah. Have you ever seen that video of like from the 70s where they had a whale on a beach that was beached?
I'm the one who showed you that fucking
video. Yeah, you
video.
did. Yeah, that's what they're going to do to us.
Yeah, so
there's going to be chunks of us raining
we're
down.
We're going to be that beached whale. We're going to be that beached dead fucking whale on the beach, and they're going to be like, how do we get this fucking beached whale off the beach into the ocean and buying our stuff? Okay, let's stuff it full of TNT and fucking light it up.
Yeah.
And then just spray chunks of whale all over the town, destroying cars and whatnot.
Dude, that was crazy. Watching that shit, that whale was gone. Man.
If you guys are curious about the YouTube video we're coding, just Google or YouTube TNT whale or something like that.
There's that one Family Guy clip too. That's Peter trying to like lift a whale with the forklift, and he like keeps stabbing it, and it like gets ripped to shreds as he like dumps it barely in the water.
Yeah, that's what they're doing. We're the whale, and they're putting the dynamite in us.
So
to beware
of them playing on your nostalgia, and don't fork over money for unfinished content. Is basically what you shouldn't do, because you're supporting crappy development practices, and they're going to get away with it if you're still willing to pay for it, because your money is your vote when it comes to what the game developers do. Another time I feel pre-ordering is fine is when you know you're going to get the game anyway when it releases, and you have slower internet at home. And you need that extra time to download the game, and then once it's released, you can then play the game and not have to wait for the crappy download time for a game.
Yeah, or you go grab Craig from Springville or Payson and bring him over to your house to download the game at lightning speed. And then play
go
it.
home.
He stayed here.
We played it here.
We were awful, though, in the first few days of Battlefield 1, and I was like, I kind of regret buying this game. Like the 3-day early $80 edition. I'm like, son of a bitch.
So I don't know if we have any huge takeaway from it. Just don't let your fucking nostalgia and don't let your fucking love of a developer and what they have previously done cloud your logic when it comes to pre-ordering games and supporting things you probably shouldn't support.
Yeah, you got to look at the developer through my eyes is what you have to do. So
through the Schweiss eyes?
Yeah, so Bethesda, I mean, as much as I liked Skyrim and as much as I liked Oblivion and didn't really play Fallout 3, I don't look at them and see a pillar of strength. I look at them and I see mostly pretty solid. Not always 100%. When I look at Rockstar, I see Jesus come again, I don't think I've ever played a bad Rockstar game, and when they come out with the sequel to what I have said was the best game on PlayStation 3, you bet your ass I'm pre-ordering that fucking game. And when they announce it a year and a half ago, don't say a goddamn thing, and then at E3 they're like, it's coming out this year, and you don't hear anything, and you're like freaking out, like, oh my god, is it actually going to come out in October? It is, because they delay, and they will delay, and they'll tell you they're delaying. But when it comes out, it's always been
or they will make their Rockstar devs work 100-hour week to get a game out.
They said they didn't force anyone to do that. They volunteered. and their passion for their project.
Volunteered. And did you see how certain devs snuck little comments about it in the game itself? I don't know if it's patched away, but one of the guns in the game, when its description has a little jab against Rockstar about what they made them do.
Oh, really?
I have to look it up.
Yeah, nobody makes you do anything. That's the thing. Is like,
I mean,
oh no, there is such
how much
a thing
do you
as
value?
mandatory overtime.
I know that, but I'm not forced to do it. I can walk out of that fucking building and say,
you won't have a job.
That's my choice.
But
I chose to stay.
Also, they can use moments like that to find out which developers are actually loyal.
Yeah. And Rockstar was in a lot of hot water for that, but I don't care. Great things require great sacrifice. You know what? If we didn't have slavery...
It's not confirmed.
If we didn't have slavery, we wouldn't have pyramids. Red Dead 2 is just the pyramids of our day. And if it takes slave labor to finish it, by God, you better fucking get them in there and finish it.
Anyways,
can you imagine working 100 hours in a week? How much fucking money you'd have, though? Like, you'd be a terrible
not
week.
if you're salary.
Dude, they work salary. That's why it's such a
Anyways,
problem.
here's the photo.
Like
here's the photo of a description of a gun, and the comment that people on this gun are pointing out that they think it could be like a message from one of the devs is, "It is made by skilled laborers who work tireless hours each week and on the weekends for little pay in order to bring you the finest revolver in the field today." They think that could be a silent jab against Rockstar.
Well, also
but it's not
during that
confirmed.
time in the country, it was the labor laws weren't really
Right.
a big thing. Also,
Yeah, but why would someone market it, put that in their marketing material for a gun back then? Why would they bring that up?
that's true. Well, the game is kind of
Self-deprecating or
it's
making a meme of itself or something?
it knows what it is sometimes.
there's some self-aware moments.
Yeah,
Okay.
self-awareness. It's weird when it happens, and it's funny most of the time. But like in that, it's like,
I don't know. That was just something
Poor
I saw. I
dev.
don't know if it's confirmed or not. But
yeah, no, it's they are hardcore when it comes to getting the game out. But
yeah.
I've never been disappointed. I mean, Grand Theft Auto 4 is the one that a lot of people don't like, and Craig included. I still think it's a pretty good game.
No.
It's probably one of the worst Grand Theft Auto games. I haven't played the first few, but like, it's down there with 3 and Liberty or Vice City. But it's no San Andreas, it's no 5, it's no Red Dead or Red Dead 2. It's fine, but I wouldn't have been pissed if I would have dropped $60 on GTA 4 and played it and been like, man, that was good.
$60 on Fallout 76.
Yeah, yeah, and you're mad about it.
Yeah.
You got the Hello Darkness look on your face.
Yeah. The
And
fucking,
and then it's really hard to get a refund back from Bethesda. Most people had to do the chargeback feature. in their
Henry
credit
Cavill
cards.
and fucking Ben Affleck talking about the bad reviews for Batman v Superman. Ben Affleck's just like nodding and not saying a single word. And the song kicks on, and then they're like, "What do you think?" And he's like, "Yeah, I agree." And then that's the end of the clip. It was just it was just marketed not the best way. That we did a lot of great work. It just didn't play out quite like we expected. I would say pre-order what you're pretty sure you're gonna love. And if you like,
Yeah, but even still, you're riding the line of, hey, you're willing to fork over money for an unfinished product, is the message you're saying.
in a way, I mean, I pre-ordered Red Dead much later.
It depends on when you pre-order it, because like if they already have it and it's coming, then it's not really paying for nothing. If you pre-order it like a year before it's gonna come out, like they have
So
it on
crowdfunding
fucking, like
and-
when it's immediately announced at E3, and then they have it on fucking like on fucking Amazon, and then it's like, oh yeah, I would pre-order it like a year early.
So you're almost-
as opposed to like 2 months before its release.
Your concerns are almost more around like a crowdfunded game, like when they get Indiegogo.
No, so
Because then you're truly pouring money into a game that you just believe in for some reason.
Yeah, so if it's a crowdfunding thing, if you're really helping a studio who has a cool idea, or it's like not as much anymore, but smaller studios that would be harder to get content because they won't sell a lot of copies. There won't be a lot of copies, from certain indie games lying around, and you're actually pre-ordering and making sure you get that game. Not as much anymore because of this digital age. It's really easy to make copies of a game.
Yeah.
But if more or less you're supporting an indie game studio who don't have the resources you're just, hey, I like the idea, and it's kind of the same idea as buying a game or playing a game when it's in an alpha state.
Yeah,
Sometimes
or
you get
pre-ordering a game you haven't played yet. It's sometimes you get
so
fucked.
you want to support their idea, but you might be burned by it because they're never going to finish it, like Rust or DayZ and stuff like that.
Or it's just going to be in
Or
beta for the rest of
Rust
its fucking
is
life.
never going to come out.
And then same thing with pre-ordering games. But if it's like an indie developer studio and they have a record of being okay, pre-ordering games to support their studio might be an okay case in that regard. When it comes
like I'm
to
pre-ordering Bayonetta 3.
AAA studios like Bethesda, they don't necessarily need your pre-orders to get a game done. But it's kind of hard to justify pre-ordering a game because you're saying, I'm a loyal fucking Vault Tech boy, and I'm going to fucking buy your games before they're done.
But you did.
And I did,
and
I
you
was.
were, and now you're not. But see, I did,
Maybe.
and I was, and I still am. Santa Monica can have all my money if they want.
I'm
and
still
so
probably
can Rockstar.
I'm still probably gonna get the new Skyrim when it comes out. I might be a little more hesitant
new Skyrim?
Skyrim Part 2.
Yeah, how do you move on? It's just going to be Skyrim 2, probably. It's going to be the Elder Scrolls 6 Skyrim.
Skyrim was so good. They're
Wait a
making
minute.
Skyrim 2.
Yeah. We were going to go elsewhere, but why? Skyrim.
I might be a little more hesitant with the Starfield game. I'm going to wait till more stuff drops on it. The new Obsidian game that's coming out. What's it called? The space / Fallout type game.
Oh, Starfield?
No,
Wait, what did you say?
the one from Obsidian Studios, the original creators of Fallout.
Oh, yeah, I can't remember what that one's called.
That game on the surface looks okay, but I still might be hesitant picking it up. You're just gonna look it up, but yeah, I mean, I would fucking chill it on pre-ordering games if you're a pre-order whore. Is what I'm trying to get at. Your money, The Outer Worlds is what the game's called.
Outer Worlds, yeah.
And it looks like a good game, but if we get into a habit of paying people for unfinished products, even if they have content that you can look at coming out, you're creating a precedent that they're going to get your money no matter what. Even if the game comes out and it's trash and people play it and review it, you don't have that opportunity anymore because you already bought the game to not buy the game.
Yeah, it's over. Yeah, it's yours.
Your money is your vote when it comes to the games they're releasing. Hey, do you like a game like this or not? Well, play the fucking game, or actually let some critics review the game before you put money down on it.
Yeah, and I mean, and we're in an age now where critics, especially with Star Wars Episode 8. And it's funny because Joe was like, wow, that discrepancy is huge. And I looked at the thing, and for some reason it wasn't loading on my phone, and it said 97 for critics and 93 for viewers. And I'm like, yeah, huge discrepancy.
And the thing is...
And then I looked later, and it was 40% for viewers, 90
you might have a different opinion from critics, too. So it's always boils down to how you feel about the game. But if you fucking wait just a little bit, the game's going to be on sale.
It is, yeah. So, for me, you pre-order it when you know you're going to play it right away. I pre-ordered Red Dead.
Exactly.
I played it immediately. I pre-ordered God of War. I played it as immediate as I could.
If it's going to be a game that we know we're all going to get in on and play right away, day one,
do it.
Experiences like that are fun. I had so much fun when I pre-ordered Reach and played it with TJ. We had a ton of fun doing that. We pre-ordered the game.
Yeah.
And it was an experience that we could only had because of that. We got it midnight release and went back to his place and played it all fucking night long.
Yeah, and for me, I'm pre-ordering all of the Final Fantasy games that come out and their special editions.
I mean, you kind of require to play those anyway, even if they are bad. So
exactly, some of them aren't great. There are some great games in there. Most of them are pretty good.
Yeah. Any other parting thoughts, Craig?
But I buy all of those collector's editions because I like.
He is all correct.
I like the games. I like the series, and I like having the memorabilia. And it's because I have Ultima Final Fantasy. I want that to be the thing I have after Ultima's done. It's all my wall of collector's editions of games that I probably didn't like that much. But it's look how much money I blew on this. Isn't that impressive?
It is. It is impressive.
Makes me feel a little sick to my stomach.
Yeah, it makes me feel that way too when I look at that Warrior of Light and I'm like, yeah, that game is trash. And I haven't played it all the way yet. $200. Worst pre-order I've ever made in my life. Dissidia NT right there.
Tiny ass bust.
I think Fallout might actually be a better game. I'm almost positive it is because that thing is a piece, dude. Oh my god!
I don't know if it goes on sale. Should pick it up.
I don't know if I will, but anyway, Craig. Yeah, final thoughts on the pre-orders. It's your approach.
My approach would just be like, if it's a game, like if you played multiple games in the series and you know it's something you want to play, then you know.
That's what I thought with fucking Fallout 76.
Well, Fallout. A lot of people love to hate Fallout.
That's a different thing because like. I am a fan of Fallout Cam, but then I also knew that Fallout 76 was basically just the DLC for Fallout 4 that was coming out as a full game. So it's like,
here's the problem.
I'm gonna wait for that.
You should have told Cameron because
I did tell Cam.
Cameron.
I was obstinate. I was like, you guys, it probably might not be what I'm expecting, but fuck you anyway on a pre-order.
He wanted the excitement for it, so I didn't try to ruin it.
The obdurate
but he knew.
Past. The past is obdurate. It doesn't like to be changed. Fallout is amazing.
Man.
But yeah, that's just if it's a game that you know you're gonna play, just get the pre-order for it, get the collector's edition if that's what you're into. Even if it's a new game, if it's something you're excited for, like maybe take a chance on it. Like I'm not super against like just
like I said though.
Just to borrow the words of the anti-vaxxers, do your research. You know, you gotta look into the game before you like really just go for it. Like you gotta check out what other people are thinking about it.
But again, every time you pre-order, you're telling a company that you're willing to pay for a game before it's done.
Yeah,
that's true. Yeah,
but if it looks like shit, then they're not gonna do it. And then if they lie about it, then they're gonna get a shitload of shit for it.
Okay, Craig, real quick, was Dragon Quest XI, is that on DS as well?
Only in Japan.
Fuck. All right.
It's coming for Switch, 2019, but you should get it for PS4 if you're gonna play along.
All right. Did you pre-order that?
It's on sale. No, I didn't.
Oh wow! Not even the Dragon Quest games. Why not?
Well, because like all of them are already out except for Dragon Quest XI.
Oh, so it was just like not a concern.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
Plus the collector's edition is kind of.
That is a good point, though, Cameron. You don't always know. I mean, I might say every Rockstar game is going to be great, but what if the next one's trash and I pre-order it?
What if it's another Grand Theft Auto 4?
Fuck you, man.
What's also sad is that there's probably like maybe half a handful of people who got the obdurate pass joke because we haven't talked about 11/22.
63 in a long ass time. Yeah, I was talking to Jake about Stephen King. He didn't like that one. He said he didn't like he thought the girlfriend in him was excessive in that book. And I was like, fuck you, man. That ending almost made me cry. It's fucking beautiful, you little piece of shit. Of course, our biggest fan, normally about 30 minutes after the episode posts, he's finished it somehow and comments. So.
He listens to it on 1.5 speed.
Yeah, it's cheating.
Craig gets to real new highs on.
That's hot. Yeah.
Fast.
No, I only do 1.25.
No, you're saying your
squeaks get extra squeaky when he listens to it fast.
Yeah, you're just harvesting points. That's all you're doing if you're going on double speed.
Yeah,
it's like you're like a Bitcoin computer where you're just trying to farm Bitcoin.
I don't know how anyone could like understand anything in the times 2 speed.
People claim
they would have to.
Your mind would have to work twice as fast as the fucking...
The narrator would have to talk real fucking slow in order for that to be, like, an okay thing to do.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, that's kind of what I had on it. If you guys have no other ideas, do it now. But we also have a game vote we need to do.
Yeah, guys, tweet us. I want to hear some responses. Let us know when you were burned by pre-ordering a game. Let us know when you were dead on.
When I was burned by a pre-order, and it was... fucking not Infamous. It was Force Unleashed 2.
Oh yeah,
I pre-ordered that game and I beat it the same night in like 6 hours, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
not worth.
Yeah, I mean, was it a good game though?
It's okay, but it was only 6 hours, and the one before it was like 15.
Oh, okay.
So it's like, oh, you cut out most of the game.
Yeah, for me, it's when I get a collector's edition to a bad game. That's when I feel like I've been cheated.
Yeah,
especially when it's like $200 and
you
it's
know
not
what?
really much. The
studio couldn't care less because they already have your money.
Not really. Yeah, it's over.
Yep, and then they're like, "Oh, don't worry. Next time when you give us your money, it'll be different."
Yeah,
and if it isn't different for you, they don't care. They already have your money.
Yeah, because
that's the fucking cycle we need to break, guys. That's what I'm trying to bring to the table. I know it's nice to support studios that you love, but guys, you got to break the pre-order cycle.
You've been burned real hard by that Fallout 76, huh?
Well, he's only pre-ordered bad games, from what he's basically saying. Like, he's pre-ordered things that have made him very angry.
I pre-ordered Battlefield 1, and I enjoyed that just fine.
Yeah, I liked Battlefield 1. I mean, I stopped playing it before you did, but I don't feel like I didn't get my money's worth.
No?
I think I definitely got it.
It isn't the saying that we came up with. What was it, like $1 an hour or something like that?
Yeah, that's what my old roommate Dwayne would say, and I was like, that's actually a great code to live by. Like,
if you can put 60 hours in a game, then you might have made your money back on it, or your enjoyment off of it.
Because like that's damn cheap entertainment. $1 an hour, that's like nothing. You know, it's like a horror in
but
the
then,
60s.
If you pay for a deluxe version, you have more hours you need to put into
right.
it to make
and
it.
I would almost say like theoretical hours count as well. So like
theoretical
hours?
I
wish I could play this game a second time through right now, but I don't have time.
Well, that's
it theoretically is worth the $60.
A situation that's unique to us. So
to podcasters of video games,
who don't have actual time. I mean,
review.
Some of us have more time than others, but don't end up playing games.
Yeah.
We have less than no time.
Yeah, some of us have months off occasionally and, only beat a fucking Japanese Grand Theft Auto game, which I know is going to piss a lot of people off.
That's not even close
to what it is.
Yeah, that's not even
that's
close.
What it looks like.
Imagine a 3D side-scroller beat-em-up, and that's closer to what it would be.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it is a risky move. And I don't know. And the thing is like it pains me to hear some people crying about stuff, because there was like a big outrage when Shadow of War came out, and people were like shitting bricks, saying like, you have a paywall, like you must pay to pass this part of the game. And I was like, I don't have an opinion on that. I feel like saying I must pay is an insane man's excuse for like not being good. And then I played the Shadow Wars, and that's exactly what happened. I said going in, I'm like, I bet you I'll be good enough at this game to beat it without having to spend a single dollar extra.
You get good enough at any game, you don't have to spend anything.
And I was. And I did. So all the people crying about Shadow of War having, like, loot box and, like, it being addictive and it should be illegal, like, are fucking idiots. It might be addictive.
Loot boxes are only bad when you could actually game-breaking content from it. Or
that's when they're bad, yeah.
Content
if it's for, like...
That's kind of what the loot boxes were for that game, though.
Sort of, but you didn't have to do the loot boxes. It just took a little longer. I beat it in like 3 fucking days, dude. If that is too long for you, then you are ADHD and you need to not game.
Yeah,
you need to play indie games that are 2 hours long and get be done with it.
The other thing is, like, when people game, it's only for like a couple hours, but when you and I game,
it's
like
all
the
day.
Entire day.
Yeah, when I log into the chat and Alex is like, "Oh my god," and I was like, "What?" And she's like, "Has he been in that chat room for 6.5 hours?" I'm like, "Yeah." It's his party. It's 6.5 hours old. Been there all day.
God,
that's the Craig. That's true though. That's a good point. It would have taken much longer to grind that out, and you would have been missing the final cutscene because it's such a long game. Unless you just pay it and then go.
Yeah, we have skewed vision when it comes to how long to beat certain games. Because when it's us, it's like, yeah, it only takes like a couple days. But when like a casual person's playing a game, it'll take them weeks, if not months.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I could see that. But like with some of the stuff where like Fallout 76, where it's just incomplete, like that's where I think you should get mad. That's where I think you are totally justified.
But see, it's the whole pre-order. It's a gamble. So you can pre-order something and you could get something great out of it, or you can pre-order something and get something terrible out of it. And by pre-ordering alone, you are just supporting that practice of,
it kind of also just depends on when you pre-order, because like if you know the game is coming out, then you're not paying for nothing.
Yeah, like I pre-ordered Red Dead 2 like 4 days before it came out. Like I wasn't even really pre-ordering. I was just saying, hey, send me a copy of this game. You're going to have 1 million copies of Amazon.
Like when the pre-order you're talking about is like
day one,
months in
GameStop.
advance.
Yeah, like hey, do you want to pre-order? Blah blah blah. That's
like
coming out in May?
when they get announced, and then people are like, all right, you can pre-order it now. Like they did that with with Darksiders 3. You could like pre-order it like nearly 6 months in advance, and it's like, oh no. Why would you do that?
Yeah, especially for a Darksiders game. Like,
But
kidding me?
But then you have games like Fallout 76 and No Man's Sky that was advertised to be a certain way, and it was only upon release that people found out that that was not the experience they were paying for.
Yeah, but the time to pre-order wasn't like months in advance. It was like.
But I'm saying there's
saying it doesn't matter sometimes.
Yeah, it doesn't matter sometimes
because it will not be what it was advertised as, no matter what. Even if you pre-ordered it.
Yeah, but then
4
again,
days before,
if you
like
know
me.
about what it's gonna be,
and that's how I felt
it's-
about Fallout 76. I thought I was going to have a grand old time.
Well, I mean,
and I did have a fun.
but you
fun
did also
time.
know what I knew, which is that it was gonna be just the DLC.
I
for
think
Fallout
the most
4
but with
important
more
thing.
form of a
content
main
than what was in
game.
Fallout 4.
The thing,
it's a different map, different creatures you're fighting, different weapons, and a different whole build scheme. And then it came with more ways to specialize your character in a certain route.
The thing that worried me is that I know ESO wasn't made by Bethesda. It just wasn't. And it's a pretty fun
It's all
MMO.
right.
I think it's good. I think if I were to go back to an MMO that's not a Final Fantasy that I'm going to have to go back to, I'd probably play ESO.
Neverwinter.
Or Neverwinter. Neverwinter's fun too.
No.
And you guys play it.
We just
did.
sunk a ton of time in there. The grind in Neverwinter is real heavy.
Yeah.
Which is why dumping lots of real money into Neverwinter is lucrative, because there's a lot of real grind that goes in that game that you can skip.
Yeah. That one sounds kind of like almost predatory.
It's almost predatory,
Well,
but goddamn is it fun.
Because like getting your like main weapons and shit, you have to spend like as much time for like one thing as you did getting to level 70, which is not right.
Wow, that's crazy.
And there's a market system, trading system within the game that you're trading with other players that's actually pretty predatory as well. But
Yeah,
if you're good
yeah.
at the game, you never have to spend a dollar to get what you want.
Yeah, that's the thing. Just play it enough. Get good.
If you're willing
I
to
guess.
sink 1,000 or more hours into the game, fuck.
Yeah, and it's so yeah, like ESO wasn't made by them, and I was concerned from the get go because it seemed like a game we had already played. It seemed like a Rust. It seemed like a Daisy. It seemed like all of these other games that are fun for about 20 hours, and then you don't ever really need to play them again.
Yeah, for like online multiplayer games, those are the ones that I'm usually like, I'm gonna wait till it comes out and then see about it.
Yeah, because you don't have a
'Cause
story
if it's a single player game, then I'm more likely to just get it if it looks interesting. to
unless
me.
it's a COD. If you're a COD guy, like we were at one time, you buy the COD when it comes out.
well,
you
that's
pre-order and you buy
because
it.
everybody was gonna get it.
Exactly.
And you had in order
And you
to play
know
with
what
everybody.
you
then,
know
yeah.
what you're going to walk into. You know how the multiplayer is going
Because
to
like COD
be.
is the same every time. Yeah,
COD's
you know what it's
multiplayer
gonna
is
be.
always fun. Every single Call of Duty's multiplayer has been fun. Varying stages of awesome and like not quite as awesome, but it's always been fun to me.
Well,
I just don't care about that.
When we play against each other, it's fun.
I don't care about its level or its like fun anymore, just because I don't really have time and I'm just not as good as I used to be at those games. It's not really. I don't know if it's because I'm getting older and I'm slower and the beer is like melting my brain away over time. Or if I just have been playing too many fucking RPGs that are turn-based and I can, like, jack off and, like, relax and get a cutscene, put my hands behind my head, chill, you know. I've just gotten lazy, maybe, but
You
COD,
should see
I
how
know COD is...
frustrated Persona 5 made me during all the fucking
yeah,
cutscenes.
yeah, you're just like, I want to play.
I'm just pacing and just aggravated the whole time.
Yeah, you're walking around the room, like, just fucking, like, scratching
When you-
your hair, and
when
it's
you-
falling out in clumps. You're like, fuck.
When are you going to fucking stop talking?
Yeah. Why are you talking about the thing again? You just took 10 minutes of my time talking about the thing, and now you're going to text me about the thing? Like, Jesus fucking Christ. It's like, have you never had any excitement in your life? Like, I remember that thing. Yeah, you know, I remember because it was yesterday. We don't need to talk about it again.
No. It's more like I just barely got fucking home from talking about the thing. You're going to text me about the fucking thing?
You're like, who does that?
And the cat's going to fucking tell me to go to bed? Fuck!
Yeah.
Fuck!
Yeah. Yeah, the big clumps of hair coming out as you run your hand through your hair. You're like, shit. Big old comb over Cameron for a couple months there until it grew back in. He's like, oh, thank God.
No,
I'm done
you
with it.
wish. Never gonna lose a hair in my life.
No, I'm pretty sure all of us, except for Craig, our hairlines have moved. No, you know what? Craig and Joe are the same. Cameron, I don't know, man.
No, my
You don't
hair's
think you
super
have any
thick.
widow's peak?
No, my hairline's been the same.
Are you sure?
Mhm.
All right. Because I do.
I know you do.
And I also don't have much for it to peek back into. It's
know.
not like it's peeking back into a forest
I'm looking and seeing,
of lush.
And seeing your scalp. I'm going to see where that front part's going to finally wither away.
Yeah, it's just going to fall out in one motion. I'm going to like rinse my hair after washing it, and it's just going to come with my hand as I like pull it off of my head. And I'll just have the front poof that'll have the style. Jimmy Neutron style, like you guys' math teacher you were talking about a little while ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, just be careful with the pre-orders. Know what you're getting into. And there's a lot of stuff you can watch with No Man's Sky where like they were uncomfortable in interviews and stuff, where they were like people were asking about certain features and they were like kind of dodgy with the questions, and like just be careful. And ask me. Flawless record thus far. I don't pre-order.
No. Not
Dude,
a flawless
I think
record.
you.
Oh, no,
I
you're
think
right.
You would have
The City
enjoyed
INT.
playing For Honor with us.
Yeah. You're probably right, but just take a step back. Ask somebody that's not a big Fallout fan about the next Fallout.
The only thing
and be
about
like, how does this look to you?
Is that it's super technical and kind of difficult to play, so I could see why a whole bunch of casual players would drop off.
But
and
see,
not
that's
play it.
exactly why I would play it, though. That's why I wanted
Exactly.
to. But I was just like,
it's good.
It's exactly the kind of game that you would enjoy. It's full competition.
full of dick moves you could pull on
You
people.
can do 1v1s just to like wreck people, and you can just only do 1v1s if you want.
Yeah, my days of doing that, though, I mean, it's fun. I can do that to you in Age of Empires now, but like I can't really do that to anybody in any other game. It's not good anymore. Like I can't do the thing where, I'm playing the fucking drive-in theater map in Call of Duty Black Ops, and these assholes are just double teaming me from the the theater where it's got the little hole in the screen.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I spawn in a good spot. I run around. I don't kill them. I come up behind both of them, but I plant a fucking claymore, and then I just run off. And then about 2 minutes later, one of them moves, and it blows up, and the match ends. And you get that camera, it like pans in behind the claymore. These two douchebags are just like, and then one of them like moves a teeny bit, and his foot like gets up from the knee and then goes back into the knee, and the claymore's just like, and then boom, and it kills them both. Like, I don't have that anymore. It died.
Oh, just
This
teabagging
is-
behind the claymore. Just waiting.
Yeah, it's just like me teabagging my own claymore, and I die from it too, but like it's totally worth it. Shit like that, like just humiliation kills are just they're a thing of the past for me now, unfortunately. But pre-ordering games aren't. I'm not as burned yet. Not quite. But I think it is good to show caution with it, and
Yeah.
you kind of are just guaranteeing them a sale, which is not really fair when it comes to the way our economy works. The way like the whole like
When someone releases a bad product, they need to fucking reap what they sell for that. So
yeah, and we kind of defeat that purpose by buying it before it's out.
yeah, less risk for them. So
Yeah. I see you. I see where you're
anyways,
coming from.
everyone listening, go ahead and let us know your opinion about pre-ordering games, your horror stories about pre-ordering games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we have an Uber game, right?
Mhm.
Yep.
You guys know your nominees?
Uber games that came out within this last year, right?
Yeah, within a 365-day period. I got mine.
Yeah, I know you do.
All right, what are you guys?
What are you gonna fucking put in there, Craig? What fucked up thing are you gonna do to me here,
You'll find out.
Craig?
Are we gonna announce it right now? Maybe we might as well.
Yeah, you got yours, Cameron?
I'm waiting on what you guys say yours are.
Okay, Caleb, go ahead.
No, you go first. We already
Jesus.
know what yours is.
You don't know what mine is.
Yours is Red Dead 2.
I could change it.
Are you?
No, I'm gonna do Red Dead Redemption 2. I
Oh
told
my.
you guys I wouldn't do a review for that because I was cheated and it was ripped off for Galgun. But I feel like it's time.
Well,
and I
it's-
want all of you to play Red Dead 2.
And
We're
again, it's going to happen anyway because Cam and I are going to be playing it.
Exactly, yeah.
regardless.
Cameron's going to play it because it's a good game. And we want to get to that
I
online
have
when
I
it's
have
out
the
of beta.
perfect game to suggest, but I'll wait till you announce your game. So he's Red Dead Redemption 2. What are you gonna do?
Let's go Pikachu and Eevee.
Okay,
You fucking asshole.
nice. I'm going to nominate Dark Souls Remastered.
Dude,
Does
you
that
know that's
count?
not gonna. You know that's not gonna fucking.
Does
get
that
nominated.
count, though?
It's this year
I
released.
would say no because it's just a remaster of a game that already
Mm-mm.
came out.
I would say no as well, but I want to play
I think
it. So
I think we had a rule about this before, where if it was a remaster,
because I tried to do
versus a
Zodiac
All right,
Age.
if it doesn't count, then can we keep that in the vote, but then nominate another game? So we have 4 games to choose from.
I'm fine with that. I want to play remaster anyway, so I'm cool with it being there. I mean,
Okay.
Darksiders 3.
is Darksiders 3 out?
Yeah.
Oh wow, I didn't hear anything about it.
Then fuck
Well, I
it.
wonder why. Because it's a
Death
God
and
of War
War
ripoff.
Then
there,
fuck it.
I guess.
Darksiders 3 as well.
Darksiders 3, you're going for it?
Well, yeah. So those 4 games.
That's all right. Darksiders isn't going to win. It's going to be. Let's go. Fuck you. So know what it's called?
We'll see.
Let's go. Fuck you.
We'll see.
So guys,
All right, tweeting that shit out right now.
at Nude Clan Podcast, that's where you can vote. Tell us your horror stories. Tell us your great stories about pre-ordering a game or supporting a game on Indiegogo in its infantile state. And please get out there and vote on our next Uber game. Got some good games in there. Games that I want to play, and then 2 of them I don't really want to play. So we'll see what happens. And guys, get your hog in. Get psyched for that. It's almost time. It's almost time for the end of the year. 1 more episode, and then the hog will be finalized and start anew.
So get your nominations out for sure, because we need them real bad.
Yeah, I think I am going to do that best of episode where we just play a bunch of clips that I found super hilarious in the show, and you guys can do the same if you would like. If you ever listen to the show again, give us your nominations. We're going to have best episode, worst episode. Users game of the year. You can give us nominations if you want. I think we've got it covered as far as like what we think you guys will think is the best game of the year. If not, you can always like tweet us and give us suggestions for that. And yeah, I think that's going to be it for this week. You can follow me on Twitter at UFF Podcast.
Me at Obsidian Ba.
Me at Nude Clan Cam.
And again, the show at Nude Clan Podcasts, where you can find everything and more. Our Facebook page, facebook.com/Nude Clan Gaming. Nude spelled N-E-W-D, because fuck Facebook. You can go to youtube.com, and search Nude Clan Gaming. We don't have a official thing, because we never use it, and we don't have any followers on there, but someday I'll upload everything. You can find us on Twitch, twitch.tv/Nude Clan Gaming, where we occasionally stream, and hopefully we'll get back to streaming the episodes live when I figure out what the fuck is wrong with my equipment when it comes to that. And it's also a great place to support us. If you want, you can sub to the channel there with your Twitch Prime or with your cold hard cash, and we get a kickback from that. You can shop through our Amazon link on nudeclan.net, and we get a small kickback from that. It's Christmas time. Get all your shit done. And patreon.com/Nude Clan Gaming, where you can support the show, get your reward tiers, force games upon us. We played shit. Galgun? Well, I mean, that was Craig forcing it on us. You can do something just as fucked up as Craig did.
Yeah, just put your money where your mouth is and fucking make us play a game.
Put your money where your mouth is, where our ass is, and make us play it.
And then, don't forget about our Audible trial link. So.
Yeah. audibletrial.com/Nude Clan. If you guys want to get in on Audible, which the answer is, of course I do, go there, start it up, you get your free trial, and listen away. It's a great place to... If you have like a big series that you read through a lot, that's a great way to do it, is Audible.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic.
I burned through like 5 or 6 of the Witcher books already.
Yeah, it's a great way to do it.
Like 2 left.
And now you own it.
And the reason why he's burning through it so fast is because we just learned what he can do at his job now.
Yeah.
Just hours of
Beautiful.
listening time.
It's fucking beautiful. I get a book a day now.
God, dude.
I can't keep up with that.
Yeah. Yeah, so all that and more, nudeclan.net. But till next time, guys.
Enjoy the nude.
May the list go on.
Live always in the nude. In the nude.